Yo, yo, yo. Sorry, I had to like fix my Chrome thing. Good to see you all though. Random charting stream. Probably a good name for this stream. Because I don't know if I'll be looking at SPY too much. I really do need to kind of catch up on some charts, update a couple of them. I really just had time yesterday to update the important ones like SPX, SPY, IWM, NVIDIA, Tesla, just all the major names, but didn't really get to go on beyond that. So I have to work on that today. And these are... Where is the... Wait, am I using this one still? I am. Okay, never mind. My bad. I keep messing up the names. I'm labeling these. There we go. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit more on that one. Well, what's up though? Let me read the chat for just a little bit first, while the charts just kind of keep going up. Justifiably so. But good. I almost said good morning. Good afternoon, Andrew, Mike, Lag to Death. Good to see you all here in the Discord. Eric on YouTube. Good to see you, dog. Oh, it would probably help if I shared the YouTube stream, huh? I haven't done this in so long, I forgot to even share the damn link. And yeah, share the link around, guys, if you're in here. I literally forgot. How was Cancun? I wasn't in Cancun. I think you're thinking of Leland. Did he go to Cancun? Or are you making fun of me because I wasn't here for 2 weeks? Oh. No, I didn't go to Thailand. I didn't go anywhere. Yeah, it was some went to get milk more, yeah. When you search for the guy that didn't return with the milk, but you never find him. Eric, yo yo yo. Yeah, I gotta start off with yo yo yo. I don't even know why that's our thing, but that's our thing. What's up, SF? Aloha to you as well. Sorry for not being around, SF. Good to see you. Yo, huge shout out to everyone though who stayed active on the trade floor, because I was still able to kind of get an end of day review last 2 weeks. And it's kind of what I expected. I kind of expected chat to die off a little bit, but I am honestly very proud of the people that I did expect to post in chat. We still had Mike in there, Eagle Eye, Mike. We had Kang in there. We had Tobias, Andrew, Sinful, Kevo, Lag to Death, Tobias, Optioneer. The usuals, basically, is what I'm saying. So I'm really just proud of those people. I had a few people message me while I was gone, and I just kind of go over stuff with them, and that was kind of cool too. And then the videos. I hope the videos help some of you as well. Rob, you were there as well. Shout out to Rob. Username. He had a pretty awesome couple days posting. But yeah, just giving some recognition to all those people that were working hard, even though I wasn't here. Because it's kind of crazy to me how some people just kind of like drop off just because I'm not here. It's like, what? But I am really happy to see the people who are still working their ass off, just kind of taking every day as they should, not really thinking too much about it. I think that's a really big plus for you. Because again, that's how the chat's always been set up. As I typed, when I joined the chat again today, I said, yeah, it never made sense to me considering you don't make plays. Exactly. But I said, crazy, all anyone has to do is copy what we post in Levels or the Extra Levels channel. as well as doing it yourself because you can. No hidden tricks to make you rely on us. Like yeah, I still post videos, I still post charts every day, but that's just because like I have to. Like I have to at least post that update of like, hey, this is what you can look for bulls, this is what you can look for bears, right? But I'm not hiding anything from you like most chats would do, right? Where they're like, well, we'll show you most of everything and then we'll just kind of hide the important parts. So you have to rely on me. But we don't do that in here. We share literally everything. And I thought about that while I was gone. It was just like, that's pretty cool. You know, we don't really make people rely on us. You know, the trick to getting into most chats and paying the subscriptions and all this other shit is always coming down to having to rely on them. But that's the exact thing I don't want people to do in my chat. And that's exactly why I talk to people the way I do. Because I don't want them to rely on me. I don't want them to rely on anybody in chat. You should be able to figure this out on your own, along, you know, with our guidelines and stuff. And attack it on your own. You shouldn't have to rely on anyone. And I think that's a really big thing to think about because most people in the market these days really do rely on other people and other things to get their trades. Whether it's a person, their friend, something online, one piece of news comes out, you know, it's like, I don't know. That's just not consistent. It's not stable enough. I don't see the point of that. But I don't know. I think that's cool though. We'll kind of have this chat set up to where you don't really rely on anybody. But I think it's time we make some big plays though and start getting some trades together. But I mean, it's like I'm very clearly going over where you should be bullish and bearish from. If you have any questions about that, please be open about that. Reach out. Hey, I'm confused, Bueller. Where the fuck are we buying calls at? Where the fuck are we shorting from? Please help me out, Bueller. Like, that's all you gotta ask. Because 90% of people in chat understand those posts. So don't be one of those people in the 10% that are just confused and just like, oh, I'll just ignore it and not play it. Oh, he's just posting a setup. He's not actually trading it. What the fuck does that matter? It doesn't matter. If I said I'm bullish above this or I'm bearish below this, you should be as well. That's just how the levels play out. And if you don't understand why, or maybe someone else posts in chat and you don't understand why, you can reach out and ask. Don't just sit there and struggle. Like, what? Come on. Join the fight. Now, we are in the last window of the day, everybody. This is the last 2 hours of the day. If you look at today, a big chunk of the second window and even beginning, or part of the first window as well, we're pretty much spent just consolidating. So is SPY, and serious question here, is SPY allowed to keep going up, or not even just that, up or down? Are they allowed to keep moving today, even though we're in the last 2 hours of the day? Based on the context that we have here, you know, we opened flat, kind of, actually. Then we went up a little bit, consolidated down, kind of a little bit of bullish consolidation, I'd say here, because you can see it's obviously above something, and it's holding higher lows just really slow, so definitely some consolidation. And now we're getting that launch move. But just because of the 3 phases of day kind of concept, are we allowed to move more? Is it possible? Anybody in the stream? What's up, Sandollar? What's up, Dr. J? What's up, Robert Taylor? Good to see you guys. Of course, exactly. And like Andrew said, yes, absolutely possible. Exactly. Is anybody confused about that logic? Is anybody confused about that? And then honestly, if anybody here is struggling with directional, you know, just being directional, are we going up or down? Should we be going up or down? You know, you should know that at pretty much all times. And there are most of the time also, please think about this too. This is pretty deep. You shouldn't be bullish or bearish 80% of the day. If you're sitting here and you're just sitting here going, I'm going to get calls, I'm going to get calls, I'm going to get calls. And then 3 hours go by and you're like, I'm going to get calls, I'm going to get calls, I'm going to get calls. There's an issue there. It is very rare we have a day that is just straight up, straight down, right? I mean, we know how much those happen. They happen, but they don't happen 5 days a week. What is the majority of the market? Setting up, right? So you shouldn't be looking at every single chart and constantly calling out, I'm bullish, I'm bullish, I'm bullish, I'm bearish, I'm bearish, I'm bearish. You know, there are going to be times where there is a tertiary option there. Most of the time, probably. Where you're just sitting on your hands. So you got to also don't be that person that's just pointing out where to be bullish and bearish from. And you'll see this in every single video, every single setup I've ever done. There's always a little bit of area I leave for myself in case we have one of those, you know, bullshit kind of rangy days. You know, I think we all know what those feel like. I mean, this day could have definitely have done that if they didn't break this high. They could have definitely have pulled that, you know, maneuver off. You could still say today isn't that special, but just like the spot that we're stuck in, like if we were stuck here, you know, it's good to have those spots on the chart where you're like, well, I understand that just because I go above this, that doesn't mean I have to go to 574, right? We understand that if we go above this, there is that chance out there in the world somewhere, however small it may be, that we do just stop at 567 and don't ever go up again, right? You know, so you got to have that kind of thinking in the back of your head, but you don't let it control your trade, right? Like, yes, you're bullish above this level, but don't sit here and hold. Let's say you have 3 contracts. Don't sit here and hold all 3 from the first time it breaks it to the very first time it hit. That's just like, that's not going to happen ideally every single time, right? That's just an open inch breakout. We don't know what it's going to do. Over here, could you have had that confidence? Yes, 100%. You could. This is the kind of confidence where you just buy it and you just have that 90% amount of confidence in your head that this is going to keep going up, right? Whereas this one, you're like, it should go up, but you're not as, you know, heavily invested or trigger happy on it, you know? So it's not just about like breakouts. It's also about like finding that more passive trade, kind of figuring out on the chart before the day has begun. Let me also explain that. Before the day has begun, make sure you're going over that. You're preparing yourself. You're saying, this is where I'm bullish from, bearish from. I understand some consolidation could happen here, 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 here. You know, just pointing all that out. Then when the day happens, you can't sit there and be like, well, now I'm just guessing. No, you're not. You have a plan that you set from the beginning of the day. Try to stick to it. Notice I said try, because it is, of course, a bitch. It's not always the easiest thing to say something and then do it. It is so easy to say that out loud, but it is so hard to actually execute that. It's because discipline is very hard. But that is why I say all this stuff. Having that routine, day in, day out, week in, week out, marking your levels, maintaining them, you know, moving on, deleting them, refreshing them, whatever you got to do to keep the plan fresh in your mind or make it feel like you understand what's around us. And you have that kind of, not, you'll never have control over the chart, but you feel like you have control of the chart because you're just so prepared. You're just so aware of everything around you. Nothing can throw you off. So, preparation, awareness, using your context, you know, again, just kind of, sometimes it's so easy to forget if we're bullish or bearish or what the hell kind of market we're in because we're on the 5 and 1 minute. You know, it's so easy to get caught up in that. And not just because we're on the 5 minute, it's okay to be on small time frames. But don't be that person that doesn't ever look to our recent left, that doesn't look to our farther left, you know, from the daily time frame to see, you know, what the hell's going on? Where are we? You know, and really it's kind of funny because we've really just had the same fib mark the whole time, and we're just using one of Leland's little tricks here. But it's funny that we actually did get down to 550 as a psychological number, but also the minus 100% fib, right? Of the very first big kind of scary drop, right? The one that broke structure, right? Where was structure at? We had a lot of consolidation about right here, which, let me go to a different chart. This is kind of hard to look at, I'm sure. From y'all's side, we'll even go to the Leland chart. Fib here. So we're going from, here, wait, let me back up. So price consolidated over here, moved back up. We see this gap, which you guys have seen this gap a million times. We talked about that gap a lot. It kind of consolidated right here, right? I mean, I'm not drawing like an actual line here. I'm just kind of giving you a visual, you know, this is where it was. But this is where we had a higher low, right? This is where we had consolidation. This is where we made new highs from. We definitely started struggling, you know, from the bounces of this, the highs of those bounces. But that's where we made our all-time high, was from this consolidation. What did this big-ass sell-off do? Yes, it began destruction, but what did it do? It actually broke. Can I extend that? I can. It broke that structure. So that's why we need that low. That's why we need that fib there. It's not just like there as a party trick or just because I think it's funny. It's there because that's what we need to do. That's the procedure. The procedure is to add a fib when we see structure broken, which I don't even know why I'm highlighting that. That's just second nature now, but you don't have to highlight it. But leaving it there, and then so the thought process behind this is, as long as we're under this area here, we're more bearish than bullish. If we break these lows, it's not the end of the world. You do have targets to look for, and at first glance, you might be like, "Damn, isn't that kind of crazy to target 567 from 582?" Yes, it is. So you're never going to do one of those full position holds or anything, but it's also to just give you directional context on where the fuck are we going, or who has more control than who, right? So on the smaller time frames now, ever since we're under this, you're more aware of, okay, well, I should be a little bit more bearish than bullish. We're breaking this, we're breaking this, we're breaking this. You're still using that context of, okay, I'm probably still a little bit more bearish than bullish, but as you're making it through down to these farther levels, like we talked about earlier, it ends up becoming aware to you, like, okay, wow, I can still be more bearish than bullish, but I need to keep in the back of my mind that we are definitely approaching spots on the chart where dips could get bought, so you're definitely going to have these days inadvertently pop up in between. And it popped up just like that, too. Smacked a new low, had a green day. Smacked a new low, had a green day. Then it actually did have a couple of bad days into the low, so that was nice to see. But look how many green days we've had now. We're possibly having 2 in a row now. With a higher open on the first one, I might add. We sold into 552, opened at 550, 550s basically. That's pretty crazy. Slightly sideways open on the today, as you can see on today's price action. But look how it perfectly held on to that area, man. That's just so clean. So, kind of using this to help you on this, but not letting either of these control you. Like, you're going to be pivotal, I guess. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. You want to be able to move around a bunch. You don't want to be stuck to being bearish, 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 bearish for 5 days. Bullish, bullish, bullish for 5 days. You can move around a bunch. And you can have days in between where maybe you're not really too keen on bull or bear. Maybe you're just wanting to chill. You let that day happen, and then you take that next day. You have that buffer in between. So that's a big thing too. If you ever have a big day, give yourself that buffer day. But yeah, any good questions or extra comments to make on anything I've been talking about, please do. Some of you are very educated. Some of you are just curious. And yep, good to see you too, guys. Good to see you. I've been seeing all kinds of cool messages today. Thank you. And welcome, Chimera and Ace. Anybody else who joined in the Discord, welcome. Back to watching TV. Good day, my fam. What's up, Optioneer? What's up, Matty Ice? Good to see you guys. Sorry, I was talking so much I wasn't reading. But good to see you guys. Good to see you guys. And yeah, this is our first public stream in like 2 months. Did y'all notice that? It was only 2 weeks for us, but that I didn't notice that on the actual channel. We hadn't been public for so long. We did literally a month of member streams, but that was y'all's fault, honestly. The member streams were honestly a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun doing those. I could be a little bit more like straight to the point, more personal. And some of the newer guys were pretty chill, I'm not gonna lie. But I think when I say newer guys, I think our people who are newer are like people who are kind of in the background for a while, and then they kind of poke their head out. So they're not like, they're not like toxic when they start talking. They come out and they're like, hey, this. It's like, it's stuff you and me understand. They don't come into chat and are like talking about something completely different or out of this world. So I definitely love those kind of people too, because I appreciate the patience. I know some people are just straight up shy, but sometimes it's just patience. Sometimes people like to get a grip of what they're trying to do before they, actively talk about it, which I appreciate that. Working. Thought I'd pop for a minute to say what's up. Good to see you, man. Seriously, Maddie. And I really do mean see. I have a camera right behind you. So, good to see you, man. Nice blue shirt you got on. Imagine he's wearing a blue shirt. I had a question earlier, then the phone rang. I didn't know what happened, but it just happened, and now I forgot. Son of a bitch, man. I hate when that happens. Matty Ice. Yo, Matty Ice, is your shirt actually blue today? He is wearing a blue shirt. Oh my god, I'm on one today. And yeah, good shit on Redfin, bro. I'm proud of you. Anyone who's been paying attention to any of my stock picks, they know that Redfin's my baby. Happy to see you kicking ass on this one, dude. I didn't even realize they did this, though, to be honest with you. So I will be able to check mine account later and be like, oh, wow. So thank you for reminding me. I didn't even notice. This could have rejected and gone back down to 7. I wouldn't even have known, Maddie. Thank you. But great job, dude. I'm happy you joined me on that. Could our other stock picks do that? DDD isn't a 90% entry, by the way. Just pointing it out, this is the other stock pick that I like for long term. I don't like this one as much as Redfin. I definitely have this one behind that one. Redfin, I only like it if you buy it around 6 or under 6. I only like DDD if you buy it under 3. And this is like the perfect spot for it. So actually, the stock picks are in great spots right now. Well, Redfin is not. Definitely do not buy Redfin right now. It's like double the price of what I'd pay for it. You added before that dip, or you added on that dip to perfect timing before the buyout. Bro, is that what the news is? Damn. I didn't even know. Who's buying them out? Oh, they're going to Rocket Mortgage? RKT? Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Damn. Well, I guess we'll be the owners of RKT. Let's hope they don't fuck it up. Oh, this isn't, that's right, they changed their thing. Now, you gotta remember, the reason I liked Redfin so much was because of their openness about everything, right? You could download Redfin. I'm not joking. This is the only... Wait, what's gonna happen to their app then? Is it gonna be converted? Because the app is, like, honestly the reason to like Redfin. The app will literally tell you, hey, yes, it's time to buy in the housing market. No, it's not time to buy in the housing market. Like, they tell the truth. It's crazy. During COVID, I could give you all kinds of testimonials. After COVID, before COVID, during COVID, they were telling people straight up what to do and what not to do. And I don't know if it actually helped everybody, but I know a ton of people who were trying to buy houses at that time, and they all had Redfin, and that's the only reason I figured that out. And it literally stopped all of them from buying a house. Guess what happened within the next 5-6 months? Housing market completely fell off the face of the planet. Yeah, I am too. Yo, what's up, Alst? Good to see you. Round of applause for Alst. It is a random charting stream. I kept the title the same. I had this, I actually was going to stream one yesterday, and then I was like, I'm not going to bother him. It's Sunday. Because I honestly couldn't remember the last Sunday stream I've done, so I was like, it's probably a good idea. So this is actually yesterday's stream title. I just left it on. And yeah, nothing to really continue to talk about here. We talked about the bulls in control here. We talked about the possibility of actually getting continuation, because it's not really crazy to think that we can't go more. You know, all we did was kind of have a flat open. Yeah, we went up once, but I mean, all we did was just get control. Right, so this is a lot of buying and selling going on, which gives the chart energy, not just because of time, but because of the actual trading that happened recently, which I think that's the first thing we talked about as soon as we opened the stream, just to kind of make sure everybody understood, yes, this could keep going up. Guys, thank you for the likes on the YouTube stream, by the way. I forgot that even matters now, because we're back to public. Gotta get back to work. Have a good one. Thank you, man. And good job getting in on Redfin. I'm actually so hyped when Maddie's on the stock picks with me. Well, let me get some reading done. Let me see what y'all are doing. Redfin and Rocket. Yeah, I don't pay attention to RKT, but I am aware of them. I guess I'm okay with them being together. I just really hope they don't ruin why I liked Redfin, because that could definitely change. But I don't think I hate RKT though, so I don't think they'll do that. But I have to do more research because I don't know much about them compared to Redfin. I just remember when they had that first initial hype run, you know, RKT, and then I haven't really paid attention since then. I think most of the market could agree, though, just because of what has happened since then. Damn, my audio wasn't working this whole time. I thought it was a silent stream, Charlie Chaplin style. Let's see here. My losing trades last week were usually trying to fight the intraday trend reversal, nickel and dimed out of stop losses. The volume would be lessening during the reversal as well, but I'm focusing on waiting for confirmation of failure or reversal prior to re-entering. Wait, let me read that second part again. I'm focusing on waiting for confirmation of failure or reversal prior to re-entering. Oh, okay. You're saying if you mess up or it just doesn't work out, instead of just jumping in again randomly, you're going to actually get a consistent piece of information to put you in again. Okay, fair enough. No, I like that. I can look at some of y'all's trades if you want. What was one of your... You want to look at one of your losing trades? I'm not going to sit here and be like, this is what you should have done, this is what you should have done. I'm honestly just going to go over templates. Because I honestly hate when people do that. Like, you should have done this, or this. It's like, no shit. Thank you, Captain Obvious. That never helps. Lag, what do you mean by BOS fibs? Sorry, I'm catching up to the Discord things. Or break of structure with fibs. That thing I was just going over? Do I have a video on that? Besides that breakdown, I'm not quite sure, honestly. Me and Leland don't like to go over a lot of the latest stuff because it's taken me 9 months or almost a year to even post a gap fib video publicly because I don't really like sharing all that stuff. After getting copied a lot, I've been kind of keeping a lot of the better shit kind of unpublic. So no, I don't have a video, but maybe I should make a video, just kind of privately upload it to Levels. But I'm sure there are breakdowns within the chat that we've definitely, because this isn't like the first time I've ever covered this. This isn't the first time Leland's ever covered this. But to be honest with you, I don't think there is a public video on this. Just because I don't want it out there. Like, I would say the 3 best things in our system right now that are good for actively taking a real trade and actually making money would be the gap fib. 100%. That's like easily number 1. It took me 0 seconds to place that at number 1. Like, if you guys struggle with trading gaps, please study the gap fib videos. I mean, or ask me. We'll go over them. It is by far the strongest and anything in our system, in my opinion. It's just so obvious. It's so easy, and everyone's trying to trade it. Not just us, but the market's trying to trade it because it's a gap. Everyone can see it. It's so obvious. So there's going to be a ton of volume, a ton of movement, most likely. Even when you get faked out, you're like, oh, whatever, I'll get the next one. You know, compared to, like, when you're in, like, a consolidation day, it's like, fuck, I hate this. So you got to also have templates for trades that you like a lot more than others, I guess. Like, you need to have preferences as well. I'm just kind of thinking of another good point. But, staying on track here. I would definitely say the gap fib's number 1. But putting it up there, though, is the break of structure fibs. I would definitely say, because think about the fib that I like to cover the most. It's pretty much the same as the break of structure fib, but not the same at all. You guys know what I talk about when I say, look for your, like when we get a break of a level, and then we go up and let's say, here, let me just do some cute little drawing here. Let's say we break this level and we stop right here, right? What is Bueller saying in your head? Mark that fib. Mark that fib. It's an open range breakout. Don't just sit there and stare at it. So if it stops, and then it slows down, and it gets into this area, let's say it fails. Let's talk about the most boring, and then we'll go to the most entertaining. Let's say it fails that. What are we? We're still probably a little bit more bullish than bearish, but not by a lot, because we were probably intending for this to hold. So what is the only thing, excuse me, that can put me into this chart? Holy crap, breathe, dude. A loss of this level and a retake, because that's the only thing that's going to get me back into that chart, right? Kind of tying into Chimera's point, actually, where you said you need that thing to kind of trigger to you again before you get in again. This is what I would need to see to get in at all, right? I'm not entering 40% entries. I'm looking for a midterm retest. But what if that fails? We all know that fails and it comes back down to level. Sometimes it even flirts with the level a bunch. So I need to see that retake, right? Or what? Anyone paying attention? What is the other thing we could see here that would make me bullish again? A little bit more bullish than I am currently in that situation. What else could pop up here besides that whole loss and retake of a level? What is the other scenario in which buyers still have control of 568.78 in this random scenario we're doing? And again, that's why I'm going over this, because not every day is it perfect. A higher low, exactly. Great answer, Chimera. A higher low. So even if we don't get that loss and retake, which would be honestly probably the best thing you could see here, that would definitely make you way more bullish than bearish after seeing that again. Even without seeing it cross this again, just the fact that it did that is definitely a good sign, right? But the other scenario, that's why I'm glad to see Chimera say it, a higher low. What if we do one of these like settling moves and we just start producing the most obvious bullish trend? Which it's not always going to look like that. Sometimes it might look uglier, which actually it's pretty similar to today's price action, kind of. You know, here's that up, here's that down, no loss of level, but it did kind of lose a little bit of a level. Retook it. So you actually got kind of both examples here. You got that 90% on the top part of that level, and then they gave you a higher low. And yeah, they did flirt with it a little. They didn't just instantly jump. So there was a lot of sitting there. But you see what I mean, though? Yeah, you gotta wait for that actual higher low to pop up. Like Chimera said, he said, you know, let's say he was in a trade thinking it'd be a midterm here. I think that was a great example you said to yourself, because that's exactly what I cover. You know, let's say you were bullish, you took that 40%, or you took this potential midterm retest and maybe you messed something up and you were wrong. You know, whatever. It falls. You lost the trade. You know, instead of just re-entering, you know, actually wait for that 90% to pop up. Wait for that higher low to pop up. That should be your first entry, in all honesty. But I like when I do see you guys go for those aggressive entries, because there is going to be a time. That's why we're going to cover this next. Oh, I ran out of Control Z's. Hold up. Hold the phone. But that's why we're also covering the other situations where it does hold this, right? And then, of course, outside of the obvious situations where it does just fall, or just straight up jump. You know, I like to cover that stuff because it's difficult to actually grasp that when you see it pop up, right? This isn't easy to look at first. You know, to the untrained eye, I could see why someone would be like, man, today is fucking ugly. But if you think about it, they're really just taking their time to get control of this area, right? So, I mean, is it really ugly? Not really. Oh, no. Hold up. Let's do this the fast way. So there's that fib, the midterm retest fib, which I think everybody should know that. And then next to that fib that you were talking about, Lag, the break of structure fib. It's the exact same thing. It's just 2 different points, basically. So let's go to that daily. And that's kind of what we were talking about here. Let me go to the right chart. You know, we have structure here, right? It's obviously bullish as long as it's holding this area. From this point of view, you know, kind of delete the right side of the chart out of your eye for a second. You know, because, like, seeing this, hold up, like that, you know, that's definitely way more bullish than bearish. We can see there were lower highs broken. They kind of broke bearish structure to do this. Held. I mean, this is very nice, too, because you had a very ugly lower open, and then it still retook that low. Crazy. And then it just keeps getting higher and higher and higher, right? Every time it comes back down, it's holding higher. Next time it made a new high. Awesome. We're euphoric at this point, right? And then we get our death drop. But what can we take away from the death drop besides all the obvious, of course, Trump this, Trump that, tariff this, tariff that, trade news, Zelensky, blah, 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 blah. Let's not sit here and complain. What happened on the chart? What did our friend the chart say? That structure was broken. Going from the high to the low, just kind of highlighting that again. This allows us to mark, okay, well, this is the drop that broke the structure. Let's get the length of it. That's all we're basically doing. And then all this other stuff is just calculated from that, right? The halfway point, the golden pocket, the outside fibs. This is just an added 50% and added 100% outside of the range. That's all it is. It's just outside calculated targets. Now, this is of course without all of our other levels on the chart. I was just wanted to cover it and keep the chart a little naked, like Lag to Death had asked or said, because I think it's obvious, but it's only obvious to people like us because this is how we look at things, right? We might look at this and be like, oh, dude, everybody sees that it's about to reverse. No, they don't. They don't look at the same thing you and me do, right? Everybody has a different strat. They're not looking at this the same way. So there's a big reason why we don't have a lot of videos on that, and it's because I truly believe it's the most actionable setups you can take in our group, right? I truly believe once you just sit here and study a little bit, you have a ton of actionable setups. After all I've covered, a setup we still haven't covered, the buy the dip setup. I still haven't even covered the buy the dip setup. We kind of covered it with the breakout, but what happens when you have a day that goes down and it catches support and then it makes those higher lows? Are you going to be able to trust that, or are you going to keep grabbing shorts? Because it doesn't depend on does it have higher lows or not. It depends on does it have higher lows at a part of the chart where it would make sense to have higher lows, right? If I just broke a level, why would I already be looking for higher lows? That doesn't make any sense. I need to be looking for a retake of that level or a continued rejection of that level, because that's going to give me directional value on if I am more bearish or remaining bullish. Vice versa, whatever situation we're in. Trying not to flop over my words while I talk. I'm trying to give setups that make sense for both bulls and bears, because I don't want any of you to think, oh, well, I should only trade puts or I should only trade calls. No. You have equal opportunity on both of them. And honestly, you'll probably be playing more longs than shorts, if anything. Just because, again, we are in a stock market that goes up more than down. But you got to know both. You got to be able to understand it's not like up is different than down. Like, they're the exact same thing. You should be trading them the exact same way. You kept getting in early. You might have to check out that double confirmation entry video. Yeah, 100%. And that's kind of what it comes down to. It's just using your context. Now, you kind of said it yourself, though, Chimera. You said waiting for that extra confirmation or whatever for re-entry. Like, that's kind of what that video kind of covers, too, is just you should really have a couple things screaming at you before you get in. Blackstone is up 5% today. Jesus. Brick by brick learning. That's kind of what it is. It's not really like you're not going to get everything all in one go. Like, I could sit here and talk for hours if you wanted, but that you're not to hear one thing and then to actually take action on it and do it yourself, like execute it yourself, are two different levels altogether. Learning one thing, hearing it, reading it, watching it, that's one thing. Going out and doing it yourself is another. So it does take a little bit of time, but like, if you just write some of this stuff down or you just continue to go over it in here, I'll be here all week. So, and next week. So I'm happy to go over stuff live. So I'll be doing that here. I'll probably keep going to this naked chart that I keep going to, though, that you saw me posting in my videos these past 2 weeks, because of how impactful it's been. Honestly, I haven't really had to look at as many emerging candles lately. It's kind of funny. Like, I really haven't had to. They are still very helpful. They are helpful for when I don't have a bunch of information in certain parts of the chart. But I'm able to select that. I'm able to kind of just go over there and add what I want, right? I don't have to fill up my whole screen every time I want to chart something. Which I think that's cool too. You kind of have a preference with the system. You could be someone who has every level on the screen. You could be someone who has almost none of them on the screen. You could just have some of the most important recent ones. So it really just comes down to preference and how minimal you want to be. But I think as we are consolidating, I want to keep the chart a little bit more clean. Keep it simple. But yeah, if you guys have any questions or any comments to add on top of anything I've been going over, please feel free to. He typed restarted instead of the word. Ricky J said last higher high was 568.75. BB level is 568.78. I'm sorry, I was off by 3 cents. China had stimulus news over the weekend. How do you sign up for a 1v1 mentorship? Ace, shut up. I like how your message before that was a green candle. I think that was when I was asking for the high or low answer. I don't really do sign up for 1v1s. I was just helping out a friend. And they were... Every time I do one of them, it's like a friend, and they're like too kind to just let me do it for free. And they're like, no, let me pay you, blah, blah, blah. So I said it was a paid mentorship, but it wasn't like I'm out here charging people like that. Like, I'm not... I don't even have a link to that. Like, hey, buy this. No. Which, now that I'm about to start being active again, I do highly recommend everybody sharing out the Discord link a bunch. Not even for sign up. Please, dear God, don't be one of those people that are like, hey, bro, sign up in this chat. I just want to bring people into the trade floor so they can see how everyone talks. I mean, I genuinely think if someone just joined the chat, stared at trade floor, they'd be like, holy shit, what is going on in here? They'd be impressed. They'd be like, wow, this is actually trading. Not just by me, but by the people within the chat itself already. It's all the members in there are just kind of killing it. Not just with like the gains or the losses or the trades or the executions, but like their thought process. You know, hey, this is what I'm doing. I'm bullish from here, I'm bearish from here. And they're not really making a fuss about it, just kind of sticking to it. Add on LinkedIn. But guys, if you ever wanted a one-on-one, just join the fucking streams. Like excuse my language, but I'm serious about that. Everything I go over my one-on-ones, I literally go over in here. It's not like I have some like hidden tricks, and that's what I was saying at the very beginning of my stream. Like, you never should have to rely on me or anybody in here, because you have access to every bit of information anyone else does in here. It's not like anything's hidden. You know, once you're in here, you're in here. It's go watch it, go listen, go check it out. You know, yeah, that's why I liked Chimera. There's another person I can't think of, but there's two of you, especially this past 2 weeks, who messaged me or tagged me or just kind of said it, and I noticed it. But there were a few of you who actually went back and were watching like super old videos that I kind of forgot even existed. And I'm the one who made them. But in the trading videos channel for like premium or in the educational section, I honestly forget about some of that stuff. And it's kind of funny how old some of this information is, that like I've gotten to the point where I don't even think it's in a video or anything, right? I'm just like, I'm covering it in stream because we're streaming all the time, you know? So whenever you guys come back to me and you're like, oh, it's in this video or it's in this PDF you posted, I'm like, oh, I forgot. Because, like, to me, it's just things we go over in here all the time. Like, I don't like to, like, hide anything. You know, all it takes is someone just joining a stream and listening for a couple days. And they're like, oh, okay, well, that's the system. It's really not complex. I really feel like someone could learn it and teach it to a child. It's really not that complex. It's very procedure based. It's very methodical. You know, you're not... You definitely have things based on other things, if that makes sense. Like, you are going to be bullish based off of something. You're never going to just be bullish because someone said be bullish, right? There's going to be a couple indications that make you that. And there's also warm-up indications. There's going to be things that kind of warm you up into thinking something's going to be bullish or bearish before it even happens. And then sometimes it's going to work out. Sometimes it's not. But another cool thing on the other end of that, on the evil side, when you lose, when you mess up, when you lose money, when you make a mistake, there's also a procedure for how to correct that, right? You got to get it through your thick skull. You are going to lose money. We're all going to lose money. Took me a while to kind of get that down too. We're going to lose money. That's going to happen. right? So get past that fear, and now you open yourself up to actually take calculated risk, right? But if you just sit there and you keep being scared every time you enter, you're only going to keep getting minimal gains. Every time you don't enter, you're missing out on opportunity. Every time you enter and then you just mess it up yourself, you don't even let the chart play out, right? Can you even sit there and be like, yeah, I traded the system today? No, you didn't. So at the end of each day, I really want you guys to sit there and have a checklist for yourself, which this isn't the first time I've said this or posted this, but Leland has posted one over and over again while I was gone. Ace had some really big posts that I think you could kind of use as a checklist. If you go check the results and review, and there's honestly just been a lot of cool trades made by a bunch of people in chat. I'm just kind of targeting certain people, but yeah, there is a thought process behind pretty much everything within the system, right? So if you're ever just looking at something and you don't understand it, ask, so you can correct that mistake or correct that, and be able to consistently handle it the same way over and over again, because that's really how you should treat it, right? If this or that happens, I'm treating it this way. If this or that happens, I'm treating it that way. Every single time it does something, I'm doing it that way. There is a consistency, not just within how you're trying to trade, but in the system itself, within the methods, doing things over and over again, never really kind of going back on doing something a certain way, right? If I'm drawing a break of structure fib, I'm drawing it that way every time I clear the chart. If I'm drawing emerging candles, I'm drawing them that way every single I come to chart, right? It's consistency, not just within what you're doing, but within what the chart is saying to you, right? You don't want to just sit here and throw a bunch of shit on your screen and then not even use it or not understand it. What's the point of that? Which we can get off the daily here. I just wanted to go over that, because that was a cool question by a couple of you. A couple cool comments. Chimera, lag, thank you. What's up, Letterbuck? Good to see you. And thank you guys for dealing with Mike R's stuff. I did see a few messages from you guys while I was gone. Please just mute someone if you don't want to see their messages. It's really that easy. You can do that. I don't recommend it, but if someone is really annoying you that much, just go ahead and do it. Because I'm not going to kick someone just because they're annoying you based on political opinions. How? Let's see here. I think you can hit right click and there should be an ignore button. It's pretty new. It should say ignore. And if you can't ignore, you can also just block people. That's like that's like the aggressive way of doing it, but there is an actual button that says ignore now. If you don't have the button that says ignore, this is a new rolling out feature, so not everybody has it yet. But I saw it 2 weeks ago, so I think everybody should have it by now, and if not, then maybe you're just right around the corner from getting that update. And that's just how Discord works. Don't ask me why. Not everybody gets the same updates at the same time. No, you're good, Mike. I was only telling everybody because I got so many complaints about the political comments. And that's really what I was more blowing up on in the chat. It wasn't really anybody's opinions. It was more just like, can we not have this in trade floor? It wasn't even like, don't post it. It's just, why the fuck is this in my trade floor? And it's because he's too lazy to go to off-topic chat. That's not my fault. That's not my problem. Neither is it anybody else's fault or problem. So they shouldn't have to deal with that. Again, I don't care what people's political... You could be a Green Party supporter for all I care. I really don't care. I just don't want that shit in here. Like that. Like, I'm not trying to be, like a dick or anything, but, like, why is he posting, like, the Shrek thing? Like, that's a huge-ass image. It's not a tiny image. It's, like, double the size of Mike's GIF. Like, what? That thing's huge. We don't need to be posting huge Shrek images. Like, Jesus. He could have just posted a green candle emoji. You know? It's just stuff like that. People just find it annoying. Yeah. All political comments go in off-topic chat. Do not bring that into trade floor. That is not where I want to see that. Like, I don't want to see people go in there and be like, Trump this, Trump that. Like, motherfucker, I could bitch about every president, and it would not be entertaining, would it? So based on your political opinions, you bitching about someone makes it not entertaining for me. Why would I want to read all that? I'm focused on trading. So is everyone else in chat. Why would anyone want to read that? If someone wants to really have a political conversation, they could go to DMs. They could go to off-topic chat. Y'all could go have a phone call for all I care. You know? It's just like, I don't see why this is the place for that. It's not. It's a horrible place for that, because what is it? Down to the core, what is it? It's fear-mongering. When you talk about political stuff in chat and someone doesn't agree with you, you are fear-mongering whether you know it or not. You are inadvertently making someone change their opinions on certain things. And that is very wrong. And that is why I hate it so much. It has nothing to do with red versus blue. It's way deeper than that. I cannot stand when someone scares someone into changing their opinion on something. Whether it's the stock market, whether it's anything. Because it leads to stock market decisions. It leads to, oh, well, that could focus on the stock market. That could be good for the stock market. And it'll make you be more bullish, make you be more bearish. Fuck all that. That's the real reason. When I say cut noise, that's what I mean. I don't want you to listen to people who support blue. I don't want you to listen to people who support... I don't care about that. I honestly don't. What I care about is you being in control of your decisions, not just the decision-making part of it, but the emotion part of it. Right? If someone's sitting here, because anybody can sound educated online. Anybody can copy pasta all they want. I just said copy pasta in 2025. Exactly. You just want to trade levels. That's all anyone should want to do. Your system, not even just levels, just your system. Because, you know, everyone trades something different. But that's what everyone should be focused on. The system. You should just be focused on what you trade. Right? Biden losing, Trump winning, Obama doing this, Hillary doing that. What does that affect me? How does that affect me? How do I have control over that? I have no control over what happens with those people and what they do. What do I have control over? My intake. How I take that information. Should I take that information and start running for the hills and be scared and start grabbing puts every time some political speaker takes the stand? No. Should I see what everybody on social media says about something and let that affect my decision-making process? Also no. That's a huge no. I would say that's even a bigger no. A fuck no. So that's what I mean by cutting the noise out. It's not because you shouldn't agree or disagree with their opinions. It has nothing to do with that. It's the fear. It's the greed that could even be. Maybe you agree with that person and you're like, yeah, the market's gonna fall, yeah. Maybe they even root you into thinking and believing it even more. And then it's even harder for you to change your opinion because you're full sending, you know? That's what I'm talking about. That's what I say when I say cut noise out. And that's what I don't think people think about, though, is like what it does when you talk like that. Opinionated comments, exactly. What is it when you call out something that actually happens, right? Let's say on the chart. We're breaking 5-6, like when you guys are in chat and you're like, we're holding previous day close, what's above our head? Your first thing after saying where is the price, let's say it's at previous day close, is what's under it, what's the next significant notable level or area under that, and then above it, what is the next notable or significant area above that? I need situational awareness. Where are we and what is next, right? On both sides. Not just up, not just down. What is that? That is an unbiased fact. That's just, hey, this is what this is what it can do, right? You just laid out facts and probability in front of you. But as soon as you say, oh, well, Trump said this, so we should do this, you've now added an opinion into it where it's like, fuck, I should be in puts, he's right. It's like, well, now you just took all the important parts out of a trade, out of it, and you just took all the unimportant parts of the trade. So it has nothing to do with, like, their actual opinion. It's just, like, the reaction it can cause from an opinion. And that's what I mean by that's the only thing you have control of. You don't have an opinion of what someone can say, how they say it, where they say it, who they say it to. But what do you have control of? Your own intake. Right? You're like a vehicle. No gas can go in you unless you allow it. No bullshit can go inside of you unless you allow it. So, it is cool to be aware, but I think everybody who is wanting to pay attention to that stuff should have control of their own emotions first before they talk into the chat. Because clearly a lot of people are not ready for that. And I'm not ready for it either. I think it's fear-mongering. inadvertently too. And I don't think the people who do it are doing it on purpose. I don't think people who are sharing their opinion are meaning to do that. I just think they're passionate about what they're looking at, and that's awesome. I I have no quarrel with that. But it doesn't deny the reality of what it causes. Observing live price action and making decisions is like telling the time. It's just a fact. Like how old you are, it's not a debate. It's not debatable. It's just the facts of nature. Exactly. We're just saying what is. But that's my opinion on all of that. It's not that I disagree with anyone who's red or blue or I gotta include green. But it's just it's what those opinions can cause. Does that make sense to everybody? Like you guys can have all the conversations you want in your DMs or an off-topic chat about that stuff, but when it comes down to the trade floor, let's treat that channel with the utmost respect for each other. Regardless of how much you may hate someone's opinions or who they are or what they stand for, I don't care. You're going to have respect for everybody and anybody who's in trade floor talking, and you are as well. The way you talk, the way we say things to each other. Trade floor needs to have the utmost respect for each other, so when we are covering things and someone says, hey guys, we're holding this level or doing that, you actually take it with a grain and you're like, oh wow, I can take action on that. Or okay, thanks, that's great context. I can actually take that into account when I'm looking at something. Right? It's actually something of value now. Now it's becoming something important, something you can actually take advantage of, something you can take action on. It becomes a tool. That's what trade floor should be, a weapon, not opinionated BS at each other. You know, let's not put each other in these fear categories or fear each other out of things. Let's lift each other up. Let's provide value for each other. That's how trade floor should be treated. Okay, I gotta delete one of his Shrek pictures because it's just getting insane. Crystal clear. In the market, we are all green. We are on the same team here. Exactly. We're on the same team here. If anything, it's us versus every other trader that exists. It's not us versus the market. It's us versus every other person trading. If anything, we should be even tighter because of that. It's us versus the world in here. Ace Ventura is typing ... Fuck. Yo, Garden Trader is in here. Everybody welcome Garden Trader. Why can't I scroll on my YouTube chat now? It's like stuck. Get to your battle stations and hold the line. I keep forgetting I'm on the wrong chart. I'm like, where are my other levels? Like, I know there's other... I know one of those levels were right, but I'm like, where are the other ones? Here they are. Honestly, today's stream accidentally becoming a good stream. the things we're talking about, and we started off the stream saying, yeah, we probably should keep going up, or that it can, and it definitely has. I think we're only up about 0.7% when I started, so it's up a little bit. But this is exactly what I talked about in my videos, though. Make sure you guys understand what can happen next. Now that we've made... And oh my god, I need to quit switching charts. Excuse me. The main important part of the chart is that fib, and then the Leland levels that he shared with everybody, which he reposted those like 8 times, and I reposted it a few times. But this is what I'm talking about. So if we don't just, of course, go straight up, let's ignore the obvious here. What is something that should happen when something slows down? It should consolidate. It should jump rope a couple levels, right? So you are going to have a, I guess you could say, awkward period for a while until we figure out, are things getting worse or are things getting better, right? Because, I mean, all we really just traded between and going up above. I mean, yeah, this is nice to see. It's a good start. But it's not much, right? It's just a start. That's all it's ever going to be until we get more. We went down to 552s, basically 550, you could say. We're in between, or we just broke above, but we were in between until just recently, in between 2 bearish targets after falling from above 600, right? So it's pretty significant. And you can see here how much movement happened, how much up and down happened, and a new all-time high made before they had this gigantic move. So what can we expect down here? Probably the same. I would say even slower. You're going to have a lot of up and down. You're going to have a lot of volatile days down here. So you can expect higher, lower open days all around the place. You can expect buy the dip setups to happen on the days that we have those days that are opening lower as we're down closer down to here. Of course, if we have any new news come out, economic news, that'll of course affect that. But, you know, just sitting here with what we know now, if we do end up having any of those days that open lower and we're closer to here, you know, you can highly expect buy the dip type days, right? As we're getting up above this area, we can start to be a little bit more timid on that fact and be like, okay, well, we're through 567. Let me just take some scalps. We'll see what we do next before I start to take more bullish trades, because I do understand, yes, we might be bullish as we're holding this. We're not really anything right now. We're really just trying to get a grip on what the hell are we doing. And now that we're aware of that, we can take that into account for bigger time frame trades, smaller time frame trades. It doesn't matter. We can take that into account and be like, all right, well, I am probably bearish or bullish here, but I'm gonna definitely just take a scalp on this. I'm gonna limit myself until I get more information and I can actually be a little bit more confident in a single direction, right? Kind of Chimera's conversation again from earlier. Kind of just, it's like walking in the dark, right? You wouldn't just run, right? You'd probably have your hand out and you'd probably, you know, have it right in front of you so you don't walk into anything, you know, and that's probably as best as you can do walking in the dark. Same thing with trading. It's like you shouldn't just enter off of one thing or nothing even. I see that a few times too. Where was the fib drawn from and to project this SPY all-time high? Wait, is that a question or a statement? What up, Garden? How did your one... Oh, that one's old. We ended up doing something completely different. We ended up doing like a tiny little group that we're in, but I don't even really use it as much now. I want to be better prepared to trim my long positions next time. Oh, you were actually asking, sorry. Where was the fib drawn from and to project the SPY all-time high? I could go back and find in the levels channel exactly where I drew it from, but let's save some time here. I don't want to mess up that one. I'm kind of enjoying using that as an example. Here we go. Which, again, Chimera, when thinking about these things, you know, you could easily just scoop in here and be like, oh, it's from here to here. But it's like, would I have done that, though, in the moment? Probably not. So I got to start from the left and get context on, like, what the hell happened? You know, and then I could figure out where's that fib. Because I'm pretty sure I wasn't watching a fib. I'm pretty sure for the longest time I was marking off the high to open of that green candle. I'm pretty sure you can go back in the levels channel and see this, too. I'm not making this up. And I was actually watching this. I don't think I was even watching a fib. I was just watching the old all-time high because I saw once we had gone above it and then lost it instantly. Ever since then, this is where those lower highs were happening. And then we broke above. And this is actually where we were starting to become ultimately super bullish, right? And then, of course, news came out. So that ruined it. But this is really where I was more focused on for my being bullish or being bearish when we were up there. If this is what you mean. When we were up here, this was the conversations we were having. I don't think I was even using a fib yet. And then the backwards fib would have been drawn on the weekly, but that would have been for forward targets, which I would have just drawn whatever the most recent dip was, which it was right here. Whoops. Okay, that's a little off. Bear with me here. Which it would have been marked like that, which I do remember 642. And then I would have drawn another one, because I think I've been honestly enjoying this little trick that I learned from my great friend Leland. But basically, I drew a backwards fib from the most recent dip up. So it's like doing the break of structure fib, and that's why we call it the backwards fib. But in reality, I'm just doing it to get these two levels, those fib extensions, because I just want to know forward targets that don't really exist yet. And then I kind of plan around that. So if it was going to go above this, I'm sure I had another fib too, like from here to here that did it. So I have extra targets where when price does go up, I'm not just aiming for 615, 620, 625, 630, 645, 650, you know, just psychological numbers. I actually have something that of sustenance. I actually have something I can take advantage of. So that is probably the forward targets we had. But I was probably saying 620. I doubt I would be like 626 guys, $13 jumps coming. But this was the area to kind of create that decision making process for me, Chimera, and within the chat. It was, if we're holding this, we should keep going up. If we break this, it'll probably be ugly on at least the first dip because it was not expected. A lot of the time when you get that first break of an important area that we were just holding, that first dip is pretty significant. You could see it here. You could see it here. You could see each time too when it was struggling, like it had nice red days, but these would have been double the size if we had started above, right? Each time, if we had a higher open, then it did that. And that's what. And this is why Leland likes outside bars a lot. It's the same thinking. He likes outside bars a lot because here, let me give you the outside bar. So here's one day. Here's the second day, right? What's actually happening on that second day, right? The day's opening here. So in this moment, right, people are bullish because they're like, oh, it's opening above the previous day. But then it breaks under. Now, whatever it does in that smaller time frame, 90% entry, whatever the fuck, retest, loss of just 40% entry, I don't even know, I don't care. Whatever it does, though, that starts the tone for, okay, now we're not as bullish. What other levels here? Halfway point, previous day low. So it's like a step-by-step process of like a day becoming more and more bearish or more and more bullish. Amazing drawing, I know. But that's just kind of like the thought process behind it all. Where's my thing? There it is. Does that make sense, though? I'm kind of just, like, speaking freely, and I'm hoping it sticks. I'm trying to break it down as simple as I think it is. It was a 1.5 fib level, I think. I was wondering where it was drawn from. Do you remember where you saw it from? I'm sure I could help you then. What's up, Jerry? Good to see you, Jerry. And just to re-ask you again, Chimera, you're talking about when we were up here, right? When we were making that new all-time high and looking like we are going to go up more before the death drop. You were trying to find something to give you that indication of we were more bullish or bearish. This is what I used to make that decision, but I'd have to go back and look at what fib you're drawing. I don't want to just make up one and then be like, yeah, I think this is what it was. I don't want to do that to you. Yeah, try to find it. Because I promise if you can find it, you'll see it. But it was most likely a backwards fib. Or maybe you saw a Leland post. I'm sure. I mean, he's been pretty good with direction. When he thinks we're about to go up for a while or go down for a while, he'll start to post a little bit in the chat. But yeah, I just don't want to sit here and make up something, you know? This is about as much as I could cover from memory without making anything up. Because I do remember staring at this thing for a freaking minute. Because I got kind of annoyed of saying 607.50 to 609. So I just started saying 607.50 to 610, basically. I got really bored. But yeah. Good question, though. I like the question you're asking. Regardless of me getting the exact area you're looking at, I hope that helped you a little bit. Because that was definitely what I was watching when we were looking at that. Because there was definitely this moment where everyone was like super bullish. But I think everyone, at least in our chat, felt like, is this actually happening? Like, are we sure? I think most people on my chat at least felt like it was too good to be true kind of thing. Because it was just straight up just open range breakout, a single candle held, and then one day went up. It was like, no way this is going to keep going. I mean, we're all just guessing at that point, but it's just one of those too good to be true kind of moments. But it would have been nice to see it go up to 620s at least. Just to hit that first fib extension target, but they didn't even get past that old all-time high. That's why I make sure to mark the supply of old all-time highs each time they happen, because that's really the true barrier that they need not just break above, but hold above for a while. And then you could be like, okay, we probably should go up to new highs. Because at that point, that's all that's left. Sky's the limit. But I think when it happens too quick or too obvious, I think that's when they don't happen the best, if that makes sense. Like, that's when the best bearish trades happen, because you have new all-time highs. It looks like more highs are going to be made, and everyone's buying calls. That's the worst time to be bullish. Because think about it. If everyone's betting, let's say we're all betting on horses, right? There's horse A, horse B, and horse C. Let's say every single one of us bet on horse A. Horse A wins. Do any of us get a payout? Fuck no. Because who are we taking money from? Nobody. So if we're all betting on horse A, how are we making money? We're not. We might even actually lose money getting our money back. We lost money on that parlay. And that's exactly what it is when you're buying calls at all-time highs, or when you're buying puts after it's already been selling off for like 4 weeks straight. Is you're not just paying more for that contract because of course the obvious, but it's the obvious that literally makes that happen. The obvious is what you don't want to trade. So if something looks obviously bullish, right? We're at all-time highs. We have like a 3-bar play happening. Should you full send calls with your entire portfolio? No. A lot of the time when it happens too quick, everyone's on it, right? It's the boring ones that you want to take part in, right? Let's say we break new all-time high and we consolidate for 6 weeks straight. How many of you are going to be convinced to buy puts? A lot of us would be. Because we think, oh, it's tired. No, it's not. It's gathering strength. It's building volume above new levels it's never hit before. To give us that push. So should we be looking for the obvious or the boring, based on my description there? The boring. We want to be looking for the boring break of all-time highs. And I definitely did not learn that for a few years, because that took time to see that. Because when I first started trading, we just went up all the time. There was no struggling with all-time high level. That never happened. It's happened a lot since then, though. So it's been really easy to see. But I think that's why it's easy to see, is because of, like, back then we were only used to it going up. Now we're used to price actually struggling. When I say it, I mean price. Price actually struggling. So, in my history, I really do believe in looking for the boring breaks of all-time highs, because they're not attractive, because they're not obvious. Oh, everyone check out what Leland just posted. Oh, thank you, Chimera. Let's go to it. Do I click on? Oh, you forwarded the message. I'm like trying to click on it. Oh. Oh, I already went over this with Leland. Maybe you weren't here that day. But he was, yeah. We were already bragging about this because of his post. And this is what I mean. Like, I literally did. I not just say this like 6 minutes ago. I was like, whenever Leland starts to post, it's because he's probably looking at the market holding for a while and going up, or rejecting and going down for a while. Like, you'll start to see his obvious naked chart posts. This is exactly one of them. But you can see it in his picture where he drew it from. He drew from the low to the high. But it was to that all-time high that I was looking at. You see the one he drew it to? It wasn't to that 3-bar play. It wasn't to any of that other stuff. He went to that other all-time high. Also, look at the time frame that he's on. He's on the monthly. So it's a little different. But he's looking at a zoomed out, like, POV. The most zoomed out you could be. Like they say, enter in mild times, exit in wild times. Yeah, because, like, it really just ties back to what I just covered. Like, it's the obvious versus the not obvious. Like you said, like, the mild times versus the wild times. That's probably a way better way of saying it. That's kind of cool. Mild versus wild. My bad. He posted it in Trade Floor if you want to see it. It's the message that he forwarded. And then, kind of funny timing, if you look right above Chimera, it's Leland posting the other thing that he just recently called out. When I was gone, I made sure to @ everyone when he posted this, and I think I even reposted it. But I made sure to repost Leland's post saying, this is kind of where we expect some buying to start. We don't expect that to be the bottom or to be, the end of all horrors, but we definitely expect some buying to happen from there based on, and then he shows you the gap fib, he shows you exactly what's there on that far left of the chart, and then you can see now, not really bragging, just kind of seeing the result of hard work, But seeing that is exactly where we stopped and actually made our first move from. I mean, he could not have given us an easier, look at what to maybe expect. What's highest probability? And you see it every time Leland makes a chart, like here on SPX. Every time he makes a chart, I make sure to go copy those levels on a different chart, right? Which, is this his? Hold up. No, that's definitely his. Okay, so he was saying to have this drawn, this drawn. There was the, right here. So he drew this and this and this. I went back and I just opened them up a little bit more to like copy the rules that I teach people. The high to the open, the high to the open, the low to the top of the last red candle, but I drew that on the 5 minute, I think. And this is what we get. Right? Now I know it's a little hard to look at because I have all these extra junk levels everywhere. Let me just remove those real quick. I mean, they're not junk levels. I kind of need those, I think. But just look at them for now. You can see it ended up giving us, and with the fib too. The fib was perfect again. And not even counting that out inside of this, but you can see where the retake is happening is starting from one of those highlighted areas, right? It's not just randomly happening. So I don't know. It's just nice to have something to actually plan around, and then you see it happen. It's like, oh wow, I could have taken action, and that's what you kind of need to get used to. You need to get used to the feeling of what you're looking at works. You need to get used to taking action on it now. This is my first time seeing SPX today. Holy shit, this is clean. I posted these levels in the premium part of chat. I try to post it just for premium and lifetime because it's a little bit riskier of an options chain in my opinion. So I don't want to just share it to all the basic guys, but if you guys are interested in trading SPX, make sure you trade a contract which delta is between 0.08 to 0.10, preferably 0.08 to 0.12 on your delta when you're scalping this chart. But do not apply that same rule to the SPY options chain. That will not work. I have to say that because I saw someone make that mistake last week and I had to tell them. Because I've only ever made that rule for scalping SPX. I don't have any special tricks for SPY. I just, whatever one of the first 2 or 3 contracts are, you can buy it. When you're scalping. When you are scalping. Make that clear. I don't want someone to be like, bro, you told me to swing the same day. What? The same week. You told me to swing the same week on a Friday. Yeah, very cool conversations, though. If you guys have any questions or anything to add on to anything that was said, please feel free to. I've been enjoying some of the feedback some of you guys are sharing. And if we need to chart something, we can do it now. I have a couple more I need to do, but I wanted to talk to you guys for a while first. I think I need to fix my... Nope. Oh, wait, I'm on the wrong list. I need to fix this watch list. So I have NVIDIA done. I need to fix lower Boeing, lower Apple. I think I need a clean IWM, but I did that last night, I think. So I'll have to check that again. And if there's any other charts you guys need me to do with you or for you, please let me know. But just don't come up here and be like, yeah, GameStop, man. Let's chart GameStop. Like, I'm not charting something I'm not going to trade. AMD. We could chart AMD all we want because AMD is a very tradable options chain, which I think AMD is actually in a pretty crazy spot. But I think people are missing out on all the other semiconductors that are moving around. Like TSM, I think TSM is a better spot and a better buy than AMD where it is. But AMD around 100, not a crazy price to own, I guess. If you want to own it, you can. I think TSM's in a just as good spot, if not just slightly better spot. If you're one of those people looking for semi stocks for long-term ownership. NVIDIA is killing it, honestly. Oh. There are a lot of new traders into future trading. If there's a change, you might consider charting. I've been charting those, Jerry. I've charted those on stream a ton. I've already been doing it. And just no one asked me. They just assume. I don't know what the barrier is between futures and... I'm not getting onto you, Jerry. It's just I don't understand the barrier between options and futures traders. Y'all realize there's no difference in your charting, right? Like the trading, yeah, I understand the behind the scenes might be a little different, but the exact charting is the exact same. There's nothing different. Absolutely nothing different. You can apply the system that we have to futures, to equities, to commodities, to forex. I mean, you could do this anywhere. If it has levels, if it has price history, you can use the system on it. So just making sure that's clear. Yes, you can apply it to crypto as well, which I personally don't recommend, but have at it. If it has price history, you can use this system on it. So if you ever have a request and it's something I don't typically chart, throw it at me, dude. I'd love to chart it. But yeah, and you can already see I have NQ up here because I have a couple of nerds in here who really like NQ. But yeah, we can chart those. Let's do it real quick. Now let me actually add SPY features to here. I realize it's not even in here. What the hell just happened? I didn't even click SPY. Okay. That was weird. What's up, Kevo? Good to see you, man. Sorry, I just finished talking for like an hour and 11 minutes straight. But we're about to do some charting now. But good to see you, Kevo. Stream was really good. I think you should skim through the beginning, but you might not need it. But good to see you, man. Welcome. I glazed you and a few of the other people in chat earlier. Just kind of pointing out how well y'all were while I wasn't here as active. So it was cool to see you guys just kick ass without me. You don't need to rely on me. Don't need to rely on any individual in here. It's all about the system and working together. Does anybody know the movie Hot Fuzz? I swear to God, the line, "The greats are good," just popped into my head. But you murdered him! It's for the greater good. Please tell me someone knows what I'm talking about so I don't feel crazy. Hot Fuzz, the movie. No, you're good. Oh, I can't breathe. You're good, Kevo. Yeah, I honestly am glad to see some of you chilling out, because that was kind of my initial conversation in the stream today, was like, people have been killing it. This is going to be the next couple of week periods where we see a lot of up and down, because of what we've seen and what's to be expected. We're going to get a lot of up and down now that we're down here, and these are the days that can definitely chew up a lot of people who aren't just getting in and out of quick scalps. So I've been recommending like long-term buys on stocks people are looking at and scalping, but I do not recommend longer day trades right now. I don't recommend heavy day trades right now either, just because of the amount of up and down, the prices of premium. Also, that's not a lot of things people are thinking about is we've moved down here a lot, so the prices of contracts are actually up right now. The average cost is through the roof. You have seen that movie, Ace? Legend. Yeah, those two dudes are the best. But that line when they're like killing people and they're like, "It's for the greater good," that just popped into my head. But let's do this, Jerry. Sorry for making you listen to me. So let's do this. Default, and then we're gonna create a drawing set. Swing. So I'm gonna do one, Jerry. Default is gonna be for day trading, scalping. So this will just be like emerging candles and stuff. So let's do max daily, which I don't even need to do that, so we can chill out on that. Actually, I can just do it right here. I get so... Okay, yeah, it is. I had to make sure. So I like to start a little bit below. I see we're at like 57.50, so let's just do like 200 under. I'm not even going to mark that one. It's too close. Whoops. Whoopsie. And yes, this chart is going to look like shit. But that's okay, because that's not what this is for. Whoops. Control Z. Dude, it keeps doing that. This is just so I can get everything I need. And honestly, Jerry, I might even make a third chart. And I'll show you why here in a second. Which actually, you might not need it. 5 day, 5 minute. I just want to get a... I like to zoom in after I do all that charting. I like to zoom in and see what the hell. Let's zoom in here.
So today was actually pretty clean. Looks like they didn't even really use pre-market. It was really just like, can we hold this level, please? Can we hold above today's open in this level, please? That's what it looks like. So from this level to today's open, which, hold up, is that even today's open? Oh, it is. I was looking at it wrong. So basically the plan was today's open and then that level, that dictated direction. Just because you did kind of have an upward pre-market. So loss or control of this definitely gives you your trades, and then of course you go down to that 1 minute, see if you can catch any scalps. No good open range breakout either. Let me see back on that 5 minute what they did above that level. Multiple green closes. That sucks. But after they made that first high, and this is why I kind of keep, you should never draw this manually, just kind of draw it in your head. But like in your head, you know, watching kind of like where these lows are meeting. You know, like outside of like the level, there is important trend to follow. The highs, the lows. It's pretty important. But you can see here after that first high, it actually didn't show any more, you know, ground gained. It didn't show anything really that attractive down here. I mean, this was probably the best attempt they had. And they did this with it. So, not really helpful. But you can see, though, brought it all the way back down to here again. Made a higher low. And this is kind of what I talked about on SPY. So, it's going to end up being the same conversation. Just different numbers, different levels. But pretty much the same conversation, though. But that's kind of interesting. So, honestly, going into tomorrow, you could even extend this. Don't add this yet, but this is what it would look like if this was how we were adding it. You'd go from the high to the last open of the last green candle. And then add that, and this will be our previous, this will be, going into tomorrow, this will be seen as our previous day high supply. And then I think the only other level outside of that for scalping tomorrow, I would add the previous day control point, which that's what today is going to be. So going into tomorrow, this will be previous day. So going from the low to the high of the chart with the fib. And this is really nothing that fancy. I'm just doing this because it's really easy to get the 50% level. It has nothing to do with fibs or anything like that. I just need to get a 50%. What's the halfway point of today? So if the chart doesn't make any new highs or lows, this is what this will look like tomorrow. And the same thing you just heard me say about this dictates direction is what this is going to do. So now you have a couple areas where direction can be controlled, right? If we're below this, we're bearish. If we're above it, we're bullish. If we're breaking this, we're more bearish. We're holding it, we're seeing a buy of the dip, which makes sense because, again, we're a little bit more bullish short term than we are bearish. So I was trying to think. So that is one way you can have your chart. This is like, I would say, the natural way of drawing everything. Not really much else to add there. And then the other one, let's go to our bigger time frame chart. Oh, wait. I want to show you the other one first. So the third type of chart you could do, and I just always label this Leland because it's the naked chart. I always draw the naked charts as Leland charts. If you've ever paid attention to Leland's post, he always just keeps his charts as clean as possible and pretty much only watching the important information. So what is that, right? And I can show you real quick, which you weren't here, Jerry, but in the stream today, that's what we went over on this chart for about 30-40 minutes straight. On this, the exact conversation from this is what I'm about to go over with you on SPY futures, but it's just getting the important information, and that's it. And you can see I'm not really using it to make trades. I'm more using it to give myself just control of my emotions, right? If I go onto social media right now, everyone's freaking out, right? But if I go look at the chart, I'm like, oh, we're bouncing. Hold up. Like, there's something here that I can work off of, right? So it's good to have something to consistently go back and check on and actually be able to trust. Because if you go social media or your friend or something, you know, it's just that outside influence is going to make you make decisions you wouldn't otherwise make if you were focused, right? And it's really easy to go back and look at your trades and be like, oh, fuck. You know, and be aftermath Nancy, you know, oh, this is that, you know, I should have done this, should have done that. Like, yeah, of course it's so easy to say afterwards, but in the moment, what can you do next time? And that's why I like to talk that way, because you can be more decisive, you're more in control of what you're looking at, you're trusting what you're looking at. So let's get this chart going. Quit talking, Bueller. So we'll get the first high to the low, which I'm actually ignoring that doji candle. Come on. Let's just leave it, actually. I don't know why I'm even trying to delete it. And then the other area, the low to the top of the last. Oh, whoops. I messed that up. Got our fib. It looks so much different from SPY, so it throws me off a little. Break that there. Got our hold. It's weird. The breakup structure was so much different on SPY futures, but not by much. It was like the wick right here is so much different than the movement on SPY here. And then the lower highs. They're not as easy to see here on SPY futures. I mean, they're still very visible, but not as easy. Whereas SPY was super easy to see. And then honestly, SPY futures never really lied to you guys. That's kind of cool. See, on the SPY chart, this is what we were watching, was this cute little thing right here. And on the SPY futures chart, y'all didn't even get a break above that a single time. I mean, it went above it, but not really at all. That's kind of cool. Huh. I'll have to check that again next time. But that's cool, because SPY futures, actually, y'all never got lied to. Whereas SPY, that's all she did. That's all she did was lie to us. I'll draw the same exact candle. All she did was lie. Look, went above, just kidding. Lower highs, more pristine lower highs. Again, a little easier to see. Another break above. Just kind of looking at the differences between that. It's very interesting. Because that's a pretty significant difference. One of the charts was lied to completely, the other one was not. So, very cool. Again, that all kind of ties into volatility. Alright, back to charting. Sorry, Jerry. I keep finding cool-ass things on the chart. So, I'm actually looking... I'm not even really looking here yet. I'm kind of just focused on underneath now. So, low to top of last red candle. Oops. I don't need it there. I kind of need it here. And this is just kind of just to give me information, Jerry. Like, you don't even really have to draw those. Like, you could just leave that fib and that's it. And that one's done. Now we can do the swing chart. So we're going to go to the monthly. Did you even want a swing chart, Jerry? Or did you just want the scalping stuff? Which I'm already almost done anyway, so I might as well do it. Dotted. Weekly. Backwards fib. I know it doesn't matter now, but I like to draw it just because it's procedure. I feel like I didn't do something right if I leave out a step just because I didn't feel like doing it or because it might not be as important. I mean, 6340 does not matter right now. We are pretty far from it. But in the future, it might matter, and I'll already know what it means and why it's there. And this is what your this is what your daily time frame chart should look like. With just monthly emergings, I dotted the all-time high and extended. Make sure it's over here because it just annoys me when it's just close left. And then future targets. That's all I added. So nothing crazy. I didn't even add zones or anything. Just straight up, just information. So kind of cool seeing it just use the levels really well. I'm gonna have to check SPY futures when I swing trade SPY though, because this thing, after back testing it a little bit more here, it definitely has more. I would say it has less obvious trend signals, but it has more obvious close signals, if that makes sense. Like where it actually closes above or below. But its trend signals are shit. So I think maybe using SPY and SPY futures together would actually be a really cool way to swing trade those. Which I don't know what the process is behind swinging SPY futures. I don't think people do that or do it that often. But swing trading SPY, now you're talking my language. But maybe that's a cool little way of doing it. He had a good, of course. I mean, it's down here in the gutters. I'm not saying it should go to 300. I'm just saying we could see some 200s action again. And if we do get a rejection, that might make me even more excited. Because if it falls down, that means when we do finally get that consolidation, that the upside reward is even better. So even if we are missing out short term, we might even get a better trade long term. I've been watching this religiously, though. I love watching coin. They get a lot of movement. No problem. Jerry, did you want me to do NQ as well? Up to you, of course. And yeah, maybe I should be better about posting those then, Jerry. Maybe I'll start posting the futures charts too. Because I used to just straight up post SPY. Now I'm posting SPY, IWM, SPX. So I might as well just throw it in there if somebody actually uses it. I just don't all know what everyone uses. You know, it's like I post it, and I'm not really using the reactions to gauge how many people see it. I can literally see how many people read each post. But I don't know like what people are actually using it. Like, are they just checking it and kind of backtesting their own, or are they straight up using what I'm posting? So I try to treat it professionally, like everyone's using it to trade it. So if someone does try to do that, they aren't making the mistake of like, oh, well, Bueller never said to be bullish above this or bearish below that. So I'll have to type out some small short-term plans as well when I post them, because I don't want to just post levels and then someone be like, well, where do I go? Sometimes it's pretty obvious. Like I would say something that was obvious was like today's levels. Like last night. Jesus, man, I cannot click the right chart today. It's because all the labels are all messed up. But like today, I would say today's levels were pretty easy, in terms of like where they were when I posted the chart the other night or this morning or whatever I posted it. I didn't even post a plan with it because it was like kind of obvious. It's like we're using this area, bullish above it, bearish below it, right? But that doesn't take into account how much consolidation can happen, right? We moved up, and then basically from the first 20 minutes of the day into basically the end of lunchtime, before we basically get into the last 2 hours of the day, we consolidated. But it was bullish consolidation. But it took that long. So imagine sitting in trades that long, or sitting to take a trade that long. It'd probably rip you in half. But yeah, Jerry, let me know if you want me to do the NQ chart as well. Good post, those guys. Ike said... I keep saying Ike. Is this Workhorse, this next one? Oh, it's Whirlpool. I saw the WH, and I don't know why. I just went straight thinking... What is Workhorse? Isn't it WHKS? No. Or is Workhorse gone? They gone forever. Whirlpool. That's funny, because that's actually a ticker Leland showed me before, too. Which I just realized I'm on the 5 minute still. Ooh. Okay, good mention on that one. I love how they're all, like, down in the trenches. I mean, UPS was already kind of doing that, but... Actually, this chart reminds me of LW more than it does anything. High key, UPS might be a buy. LW might be a buy. Might need to wait a little bit on Whirlpool, but that could just straight up be a buy. What the hell is this last one you sent? QTRX. This is a quantum stock. I mean, it has quant in the name, so I can only assume. There we go. Oh, it's healthcare. Well, this is over my head. They do a lot. Holy. I mean, like, literally from, like, here to here is just what they do. Company friendly earnings. Oh, you're the... Oh, because the earnings. That's a pretty interesting one, though. Positioning. I mean, I don't know what this company is, but the positioning itself is kind of cool. And then, yeah, coin, like you said. I like that one a lot, too. If I had to throw 3 stocks out there to, like, straight up just, like, partial buy, though, it'd probably be TSM, DDD. Actually, that'd probably be it. I'd just wait. I would not just start randomly buying everything. I'd buy small amounts here and there, and then I'd chill. And then see, is this actually recovering? Is it not? Because if not, then you're going to get an even better buy. And if it does keep going up, well, you're not missing out. You at least bought something. So it's like you're taking the lesser of 2 evils. Interesting concussion medicine. Damn, really? I'm going to have to look that up here. That was funny. This guy in chat, his name is New Guy. I'm not going to lie. That made me laugh whenever his name was like a whole ass number. And then when I said, could you change your name? He actually did it. I was like, okay, he actually listened. I don't think he was trying to be malicious, but it is really weird when people have like a number as their name because it could be taken as a scammer. But his name was a legit phone number. I didn't try to call it, but it was the same number. I'm glad he changed it though. And my bad YouTube chat. I am so slow on reading y'all's messages, dude. Nard C, I don't remember what we were talking about. Every day is a clown show. What's up, Blackout News Network? I haven't seen that name in forever, man. Good to see you. Yes, sir. Boring pays. Boring does pay. Leland, thank you for 23 months. Damn, he's almost on 2 years. Our Lord and Savior Leland. DE, I have not checked in a while. Pretty sure the last time I checked it, it was killing it, and I had to ignore it because, yeah, it's still just killing it. Not much more I can do there. But it is holding pretty good higher lows. It probably still will continue to make new highs. If the market continues to recover too quick, though, it probably won't go up more. If the market kind of consolidates and slightly goes up, DE has a huge chance of just pushing on and on and on. But if the recovery happens too quick on the overall market, rotations will pull money out of this chart. So that is one thing to take note in when you're looking at. Same thing for McDonald's, honestly. I think I saw McDonald's was in a pretty good spot. Because for the longest time it's been, after that gap down, it's been just stuck here. Look where it's doing a potential liquidity grab. A 90% entry is popping up right at 304.50. So if we are going to have a weird recovery up, this and John Deere might be one of your better two charts to trade for like options. McDonald's, though, looking pretty good for continuation up. I'm actually glad you said John Deere because that instantly made me think of like 10 different tickers. You gotta find like tickers you really, really fuck with and then like always have them in the back of your head or on a list. Hot Fuzz is a funny, weird movie. Dude, I love those actors, man. What was the zombie movie they did? It was like, I don't remember the name of it, but it's the same actors. Y'all saw me take a screenshot, right? What the hell? We didn't save it. Oh, yeah, it did. What is up, everybody? Thank you guys for all the likes and stuff on the stream. Thank you. And yeah, I wasn't expecting a huge turnout. I was just glad to get in here when I could. Last 2 hours of the day or so. It's not too bad. And real quick, too, if you guys are in the Discord, go to the polls channel. I'm about to post the polls message. And go let us know. How'd you do? How was your day? If you're still trading, of course, you can wait. Dude. Y'all have no idea what I'm dealing with. When I type at everyone, there's a guy in chat named Everything is Computer. So when I type at AEVERYO, it still pulls his name up. That's gotta be on purpose, right? Shaun of the Dead. Shaun of the Dead. Yes, that's the name. Yes. Man, I really gotta watch Hot Fuzz again. Holy. I think I've seen Shaun of the Dead an unhealthy amount of times. I think I could quote half that movie. I think my favorite scene, though, is when he is, like, you know that first day? He's, like, messing around a bunch, and he, like, goes and gets his drink and his ice cream, whatever, and he comes back. And then the next day, when the zombie outbreak happens, he, like, walks to the store, and he's, like, so tired and, like, hungover. He's not even paying attention to what's going on. Like, that was the best part of the movie. Like, that whole scene was crazy. The most nonchalant, I'm going to the store real quick, coming back scene ever. Yeah, his name is Computer, literally. If you type at EVERY, because I'm doing it, when I do it, I'm doing to type at everyone, but his name is Everything is Computer. Should I change his name in chat just so I don't have to deal with that? They've never typed in chat. And they've been here since 2022. I think it's safe to assume that I can do that. Oh, that's so much nicer. One of you did it to me on accident too before. Someone's name started with H-E-R, and it messes with it every time I type at H-E-R-E for at here to just at people who are online. It would always go to that person's name, and I'd mess it up every time. It's like an inadvertent troll, and if it is on purpose, then even better. It's definitely not thinking about it. Do we have any questions in the stream? Any comments to add on top of anything? We still have about 20 to 30 minutes left in the stream before the market closes, but I'd like to leave the end of it open for questions and stuff just to kind of give you guys a free space to talk about something. Maybe you want to review something. Just be careful if we do review a trade. I'm not going to go over literally everything because I hate when people do that because it's like you're not going to know that in the moment. I'm only going to go over things that you realistically would have known in the moment or how you could have seen it in the moment. I'm never going to go over, oh, you should have just bought here. You should have just sold here. Like, yeah, no shit. I like to go over the actual meat of a trade review. But if anybody has anything, any questions, comments, anything from the videos, anybody has any questions about anything from the channel, Discord, memberships, find me anything. I'm here. Run it. We got to do our movie weekend in the core server, I think, by the way. I figured out a workaround. I have to do it on a backup Discord server on Firefox. That's the only way we can do it as a group. I only bring that up because somebody reminded me yesterday that we never watched a movie as a group. I was like, that's a weird thing to remember, but you were right, we didn't. Fair enough. So that the only way we're going to be able to do that is on the course server or the educational server, whichever one. I'll have to make like a voice channel, and then we can do it. And no, we're not watching Wolf of Wall Street. And yeah, who's all going to be here for tomorrow's stream? I should be starting at around 7:40, 7:45 Central Standard Time. So about 45 minutes, 40 to 45 minutes before the market opens, I'll be live, and we'll go over some charts. We'll go over some plans, prep, get some posts out there for everybody in the Discord as well, and hopefully catch a trade. That'd be cool. Which I don't see why we can't catch a trade tomorrow. Today seems like a beautiful setup day, right? It had a lot of consolidation, it had a good end of day move, and then that's it, right? It's just a settled day. And then when you zoom out to the bigger time frames, it's still just a continuation of this short-term bounce we're getting. So I think tomorrow, if we get a lower open, there's a very high chance we're getting an inside bar tomorrow. If we get any kind of open, it doesn't matter, and we break today's highs, there's a good chance we do make it to 574s. So it just kind of depends on the momentum that we're getting, but it's not as likely we will continue up a third day in a row. But if it does, we're going to keep that on the back burner in case. Of course, 574 right there in front of us. But kind of looking for that lower open or sideways open inside day tomorrow. A break towards 564s would be nice. Also, if we get a break under 567, I think that'd be a really easy level to trade under. And we, of course, have the help with the 569 level, basically, that 568.78. So if we get any rejections there and then we get a break of 567, we can be very bearish very quickly with no hesitation because it's multiple levels showing us something. It's not just one breaking. So that is what I'll probably be looking at tomorrow. I can already kind of see it now because of the way today played out. But that still kind of like cuts our probabilities in weird spots. Like I'd say it's like 30% that we do continue up and make it to 574 tomorrow. I'd say the rest of that percent goes into probably an inside bar or a test of the kind of mid 560s, that 564, 566 area. I'd say that's your higher probability situation for tomorrow. But again, that doesn't even really matter because we can't tell the future. We can just kind of set it up and prep around it and then react to it. But when it all comes down to it, we'll have to see what we get in the morning and see what we are going to be attacking. So, but yeah, if you guys are going to be here tomorrow, let me know. I'd love to see who all is going to be here. Yo, legit though, how loud is my typing? Like right there, was that super loud or nah? What's up, Tobias? Good to see you, man. Also, a side note, FOMC starts tomorrow. Oh, does it? Let me look. I'll be honest, I didn't even check my economic news this week. So let me check that channel that Eric posted in, and if he didn't post there, I'm going to check Financial Juice. No. FOMC starts the Wednesday. Tomorrow, though, you do have the ECB. Oh, wait, that's way before our market's open. Never mind. That's the European Fed. Tomorrow we have housing data, industrial production month-over-month data, and then there's a keynote by the NVIDIA CEO, which that's probably the biggest news tomorrow if I had to guess. NVIDIA CEO keynote. So that's tomorrow. Wednesday is FOMC. We get a summary of the economic projections as well as the rate statement as well as the rate decisions. So Wednesday is probably the biggest day of the week. And then Thursday has some more stuff, but it's nothing in comparison to Wednesday. Tuesday I think is interesting too, though, the NVIDIA keynote thing. That's kind of cool. It says the GTC Summit. I don't know what the hell that means. Very cool, though. I didn't know that. Be safe, Chimera. Thank you for being here if you are leaving. But travel safe, man. And thank you for asking questions and all the not just the questions, the comments you added on as well. It helps me a little bit. I think we all know how unorthodox my English is. Gunshots. That's what my typing sounds like? That's what you're saying? Little smartass. I was curious, though, because, like, that is what the old typing sounded like. Sometimes it's not my fault, man. The mic is closer to the keyboard than it is usually. Don't blame me, man. Blame gravity. I also really want to bring in some of you into the stream. I think it'd be cool to like give somebody speaking permissions and like talk to them a day, and then the next day someone new. This is what you found? I'm just looking at the news. Oh, I see why you thought it starts tomorrow. That's normal for it to say that. It's always the second day, though. The first day is them getting the information and kind of like collecting the minutes together because it's a meeting that's already happened. I think they release like a small amount tomorrow of like this is what's possibly coming out, and then Wednesday is the data drop. But it's the second day that's the data drop. No, that's very common. I didn't know what you meant at first, but now I know what you mean. Yeah, that's very common. That's very common. So I think you can check. What does this say? Tomorrow it is the 18th. If you check this tomorrow, we can check it together tomorrow. I want to see if that PDF is here. If not, then what I just said is true. If not, then the data drop is actually on Wednesday, and then the excess information is dropped the next day. But it's always been the second day, as far as I've been concerned. And it's always a Wednesday. I've never seen it not on a Wednesday. I could be wrong about that, but I swear it's always a Wednesday. I also didn't hear about this NVIDIA keynote, so I need to also look up what is this possibly about? What could they say? How many times do we think AI is going to get said tomorrow? No. Thank you for sharing that because I didn't know that. I didn't know that that was shared like that. But I have seen that because that's the official website. Yeah, because they don't lie. They don't lie at the Fed. Well, they don't lie about what's being openly posted, I should say. They're not going to lie about a date. But I wonder if the first day is them getting it, and then the second day is releasing. So I'm curious. Tomorrow, let's check that. Just for our own curiosity's sake. Because that is weird. Yo, what's up, YouTube stream without music? How is the stream without music, by the way, for anybody on YouTube? Might be talking to a bunch of ghosts now. Yeah, they lie, just not on that. The Fed itself lies a lot, but I defended Powell so many times over the last few years because there were a lot of times where he said week after week what was going to happen, and then everybody was like, he's lying. And then it would happen. And it's like, he wasn't lying or trying to piss us off. Like, I think he was just trying to be straight up. Like, I don't think Powell was trying to be weird, but I did not like that lady. The shorter lady, I didn't like her. She would just say one thing, and then the very next day, she would say something that's the opposite. I don't even remember her name. I think it was Yellen, actually. Yellen, I don't like her. Yeah, Yellen literally bankrupted most people that trade in America. The one day she'd be like, we're cutting rates. The next day she's like, oh, we're going to have to raise rates, guys. I think it's the end of the world. Like, not even bullshitting you. Within 24 hours, her opinion would be flipped. Whereas Powell, he remained very consistent on what he was saying. And that's why I only paid attention to what he was saying. He had the most impact. Yes, all the memes are about him. But he had the most impact as a speaker. It wasn't just because he was like a main speaker. Like, no, he had impact. Yeah, he gave us hints. Exactly. It was like... And I love that he covered it the way he did because... just like I covered in today's stream, you can't just plan for up and down and think that's 100% of the chart. 70 to 80% of the time, you should be sitting here saying it's consolidating, it's setting up. So what do you think rates are doing if charts do that? They're going to be doing the same thing. So what was Powell covering for majority of the time? He was covering boring shit, and that's why a lot of people didn't like him. Covering what he was covering, because it was boring. It wasn't, oh, we're going up or down. So what? That's the truth. That was the reality we were given. And that's why I appreciated Powell. Yes, it was boring, but he was telling us it was indecisive, that we didn't know. There wasn't a single Fed speaker that could have told you how 2024 was going to go down. There isn't a single Fed speaker that could tell you how 2025 is going to go down. They can only give you their best guess. And that's exactly what I think Powell was trying to give us, his best guess. I don't think he knew everything ever. I think he just had a good estimation on what could happen and what was possibly going to happen. when we all thought rates were going to stop in that December of last year, and they didn't, that was fucking crazy because everyone thought it was going to stop. But he said, no, guys, it could keep getting worse. And it did. It did get worse. It got a lot worse before it got better. Yeah, exactly. Like, it's because we weren't even talking about like if we are or if we weren't. It was when we are. It was never if we're raising or cutting rates. It's when we are, and that was a big issue. Most speakers would just be like, "We gotta cut them. We gotta raise them. We gotta do this. We gotta do that." Powell, though, I mean, he straight up gave us the most boring explanation ever, but it was the most truthful one. Again, tying to that point, mild versus wild. Might be a new theory we gotta be behind all the time. If it's boring, jump in it. But, yeah, I had to give a shout out to him, because that was like... And it wasn't just yelling, I made fun of her, but like there were like a few other speakers at the time that were exactly like her. It was never like a consistent opinion on anything. And it's like, you're our leaders. You're supposed to be telling us what's possibly going to happen, and they're not saying anything. If anything, they're saying everything, and it's just too much. Exactly. Transitory meant we were in a period of transition without a foreseeable outcome. It's like, oh, he's boring. Everybody memed him. Everybody memed the word. I mean, we all laughed about it too, but it's a good laugh. That's all it should be. It should never be like, that's your actual opinion of the man. And if it is, you're doing something wrong. But yeah, there was a lot of people that didn't really understand, and I don't blame them, because our own leaders were lying to us. And maybe not even lying. Maybe I shouldn't say it that maliciously, but giving us misinformation or giving us too much information is just as good as lying. So, majority of our own Federal Reserve was not really helping us out either. Again, though, kind of tying to that mild versus wild, though, that came in clutch. That whole level of thinking is very helpful. The no music is chill? Good, good. I don't know if you can hear my fan. You probably can because my mic volume's a little louder than usual. I just like the airflow. But yeah, if you guys have any questions or comments or marks, anything to add on to or throw out, please do. I'm just kind of chilling, talking back and forth with Mike here and anybody else who wants to join in. Again, make sure to go check out the polls channel in the Discord, guys. Definitely appreciate when you guys go vote in there. I say vote like it's like for the presidency or something. I mean, it's just good to see how everyone's doing as a whole. How many people did good? How many people just chilled? How many didn't? Have I seen your Copper play? No, I was reviewing your channel, though. I might have read it and not realized it was Copper. Hold up. No, I did not read this one. I read literally every post above this, though. I read from your PE ratio post all the way up to when you said the week ahead for Spy. I read all that because I was like, holy crap, he posted like legit analysis everywhere. Let me read this. Let me check it out now, though. Tobias? I did not see that. Fire hose them with info in order to paralyze them from making decisions. Bars, honestly. Bars. Alright, 1 second. I'm going to be quiet for a second because I got to read Tobias's Too Biased post. Man, when you say copper, I get PTSD, Tobias. You have no clue how much copper I've scrapped in my very small lifetime. I have scrapped so much brass and copper. Reading this is making my fingers hurt. Nice end of day dump. I don't know if I'd call this a dump, but okay. Like, that's what I'm talking about. Like, shit like that. Like, isn't that not scaring someone to thinking that we're dumping a lot? And then you go check the chart and it's like, what? Like, inadvertent fearing. Not a single spelling error at me. You were working as a gardener while I studied. I had to drive this shovel, brigging things here and there on a machine. Then they wanted me to lay a brick street for 3 hours. The last day I ever worked there, I got so motivated to work and study from that one day. I was just picturing myself in my garage, picking all the copper pieces apart, ripping all the rubber off, and with tools. I just, like, my fingers hurt just thinking about it. It was good money though, man, because at that time copper prices were through the roof. I could go take in like 6 buckets and I'd get like $300. It's pretty good. That's why I put the Chicken Little emoji on his post. Oh. I didn't even notice that. Wait, let me go back and look. Oh, you didn't do it on that one. I thought you meant that one too. Yeah, I have to do it on the... I mean, I might have to do that too, because... Like, that's what I'm talking about. Like, I don't think he's meaning to be like that. And I'm not trying to be like, let's bully Mike. I'm just saying, like, he's a really good example of what I'm talking about, though. I like Mike. I like Mike a lot. He wouldn't still be in this chat even after all these things if I didn't like Mike. Mike R, that is. I think one day I went off on him and I accidentally tagged you too, and it was just like, fuck, I didn't even mean to do that. And then I had to, like, edit the message hoping you didn't notice. Lately, though, I've just been DMing people instead of tagging and going off on chat because it's just, like, not really professional. Just bring them to DMs, let them know what's up. What? How did that spell that like that? I didn't even spell that. Okay. Damn, look how fresh Smokey looks in his pictures. Damn, is this his place? Wait, hold up. Hold the phone. What did he just say in trade floor? I just don't know how to find them? Huh? Hold the phone. No way. Smokey, are you in here? Hold up, my Discord's like grayed out right now. I'm actually so impressed that you used them but you don't know how to get it. This is like the easiest thing ever. I'm about to break your mind, I think. Alright, so let's go to a different chart. Let's just go to a completely different one. We'll call it Smokey. Also, nice place, Smokey. You look good in your picture, man. I like your place. I'm happy you got to move to. I remember you were telling me that you wanted to move really bad and you wanted your own place and shit. So that's very cool. Very chill indeed. Okay, so when you see someone type, let me give you the rundown first. When you see someone type this, holy crap, I can't even type it. This, or this. Previous day control point, halfway point, halfway point. It's all the exact same thing, basically, right? So let's say, let me turn this on so you can see it a little easier. Come on. So there are two types of control points you should be grabbing basically every day. Every day, every time a certain thing happens, right? So what are those certain things? So just a day, right? Let's just look at previous day. So you get a fib, right? You get your little fib tool. It's just this thing, right? Now, all you're doing here is, yes, you're using a fib to get this, but all you are doing is making it really easy to draw the halfway point of the previous day's low to the previous day's high. That's all that is. It's nothing special or, you know, super hard to grasp. Like that's a pretty easy thing to grasp, right? It can even be used. Like, going into tomorrow, we actually just finished talking about this. We're going to be using today's halfway point going into tomorrow because it's out of the part of the chart where we can use it for trading, right? Under this, I'm going to most likely be short into the lows here, but not that far, right? And then if I get more selling under the lows and open, then I know that the selling can definitely start to pick up a lot faster, bigger candles, right? And now if we're holding this, or we fall and retake this, I know to be bullish above it because it's a level that's there. It's the halfway point of a previous day. Now, chat, what is the other halfway point a lot of us like to grab? Yes, you can grab the weekly halfway points, the monthly halfway points. You can grab all that crap. That's the same exact thing as this. But what's the other type of halfway point that we can grab? Let's help our boy Smokey out here. So we got the halfway point of today, previous day, the week, the month. That's all great. That's all really easy to grab. And also, Smokey, if it's a red candle, make sure... What the hell am I doing? What the hell am I doing here? If it's a red candle, make sure you're drawing down. If it's a green candle, make sure you're drawing up. The direction in which you draw it does matter. Now, for the halfway point, not as much, but the other fib will be adjusted. So make sure you're drawing it the right direction as well. But chat, what is the other type of fib that we like to grab for the other? It is the same either way, Ace. That's why I said for the other fib. You need to open your ears up, bud. The golden pocket is a fib as well. And it is going to adjust because of movement based on direction. But the halfway point does not matter on direction. So yes, that is correct. But yes, Garden got it. The overnight gap. So let's say, let me find one. I think there's one right here. So let's say there's a gap, Smokey, from previous day close to the next day's open, right? Hold up, my OCD is kicking in. So you see this, right? This is a previous day close. This is the next day's open. So they gap down right here. Same thing right here. I'll give you an even easier one. A gap down, right? An actual gap down where it started here and opened here. What can we draw to fix those? The gap fib. You grab from the previous day to the next day. So we got to go from the close to the open because this is a little weird to look at. So that's why I gave you 2 examples here. So we can also use this area as a whole to take trades from. Same thing here. It ends up becoming a very highly impactful area on the smaller time frames to take trades on. So these are the types of halfway points you should be grabbing. Now, if you want to add the halfway points of the week or the month, that's on you. I personally don't do that. I just do the previous day, and sometimes I leave on a couple days ago if it wasn't used yet, right? Like this one. I don't really see a point of deleting this one yet. It really wasn't adjusted or affected or moved yet, right? If anything, it even helped us today. We could see pre-market fought over that one and then worked into the next one over to make another one. So you can add any of them that you want. It's really your preference. But these are like day one levels. That's why I was surprised to see you typed out of all people. You're like Top Step posts. Bro, fuck everybody who posts. Like you're drawing levels that I'm already teaching. Like I'm not trying to be rude, but like that was like kind of disrespectful. Like I don't know who Top Step is. I don't care. Like we made control points because of Harland, right? Harland's not even around anymore because he's busy with his wife. But like the whole halfway point thing was actually found by someone in this chat. Like if other people use it, good for them. I don't know. I don't care, you know? But like this is one of the easiest levels to draw. I would also say it's probably one of the most impactful. A lot of the time you get decisions made around those levels. And let's say you're breaking above another level, Smokey. Like let's say there's a level right here I'm breaking above and I see that halfway point of another day. What can I use that level as? It's not just a breakout, an entry level. What else can it be used as? Let's say I'm working towards it. What else could I use it as? And you don't have to be sorry. I want chat to be focused. I want everyone to be focused. Support. No. A target. Right? Let's say there's a level here, and I'm breaking above it, and I don't have any other levels there. Like, can I use that level as a target? Yes, 100% I can. It's a level, just like any other level. Why would I not? And yeah, my bad. I didn't really give you an easy visual to look at. That was probably a little confusing. And same thing. Let's say, like tomorrow. Here, I'll literally show you the chart that's for tomorrow. It's this one, right? Yeah. I've been skimming through too many charts. We've already established the game plan for tomorrow. I already went over it all, but it pretty much included everything I just showed to you. If I go here and I add that, remove rectangle, add that. So now you can see. I also said we're gonna add that. The high to the open of the last green candle. It's just the previous day high supply. Now we have a pretty clean and calculated looking chart, don't we? If I break this, I'm probably going down here. If we hold here, there's a good chance we're going to range in between here, and if we pop back above, there's a good chance I'm going back to previous day high. If we don't do any of that, we just go back up and we break above this, I'm looking towards 574s. If I break under this, minimal selling towards here. Break under this, selling can pick up. Not just because the previous day open, previous day low, there's another area sitting here. So you can actually use it for day-to-day maintenance. Like today, I didn't really have to really add anything. And then going into today, now we can add a couple things because we've got new height. We have more information on a new PDCP. So going into tomorrow, it's going to be super, super easy because of how clear this chart is, right? I say super easy, of course, they could give us a really boring day tomorrow, but I mean our decision-making process should be very clear, should be pretty simple. Oh, it's a brokerage. See, that's literally, I just asked how much I know. But like, isn't that crazy though? Like that they have something like that? Like, programs are for it. Like, a long time ago I explained why these levels work, but just in short, like big money looks at these levels logically. They don't. Big money isn't marking zones and levels like I am right now. They're seeing all of this without doing all of that, and sometimes the computer's doing most of the math for them, right? But a halfway point. Think about that logically. Let's say we have something important right here and important right here. You know how sometimes we're like, if there's a big space, you could draw there and there's a level there, blah blah blah. You know, if price gets up to that, use it as a target or use it as a continuation or whatever. Like, there's a reason for that. You know, if you have something so important and then something so important, why wouldn't the halfway point of those two things that are so important not also be important? That's just like, it's just thinking logically for a second. Like, why would that not help you? What, like, you have more reasons to believe that it would help you than not, based off just thinking about it for a little bit. Oh, I noticed your heart, Ace. Ace heart setup. Absorb liquidity. Price sweeps news data lows. Price dips below news events lows, triggering liquidity grabs and potential reversals. I love that you fit your name into it. Confirm market structure. A break in the market structure with an imbalance confirms a shift in momentum, signaling a potential reversal. Enter at the imbalance at a 50 and the 50% fib retracement. Wait for the imbalance to be filled and the 50% fib retracement level for an optimal entry. Yep. Take profit at the swing high, with the final target set at the high of the day. You could also include. You could also maybe put. You know how I put Ace on your last point on that picture? It says take profit at swing highs. That's perfect. With the final target set at the high of the day. You could also put /open of the day, because a lot of the times those, I'm not saying every time, so I guess it's kind of a weird situational rule actually, but a lot of the time those BTD moves happen, or like news events moves happen with the liquidity grab you like, a lot of the time it happens after a drop down, and then you, like you said, the swing high. I mean, I know this isn't a perfect drop, it's probably like something like this. And then you're like targeting that one. A lot of the time the open is that like big level, but like you said, like the swing high is the first, and then you have like the open or the high of the day, which a lot of the time the open is pretty close to the high of the day. I like how you fit your name into that though. That is so fucking cool. Hold up, I want to save that. Oh, you have the TP that you marked for the chart? Alright, 1 second. Fuck me. Wait, where did this chart go? Oh, I was in results and review reading all this. Whoopsie. Let's see. Well, no. It didn't even matter for this exam. Never mind. You didn't. I don't think you got what I meant. It didn't. It didn't do what I was saying. So today's situation, that doesn't. What I said doesn't even connect. I was just meaning like a lot of the times it is going up to that current day open. Here it's a previous day. Actually, these are just really good swing highs. No, these targets are perfect. I was just meaning like on the days that they start, they go down, and then that thing happens, the liquidity grabs and stuff, the ace setup. I'm just gonna start calling it that. Save some breath. The ace setup. Then it happens like a lot of the time that opens like right here. Whereas today it's like actually at support, so it doesn't really matter. But a lot of the time those end up happening. Now that is a fucking really awesome post. I know I've been glazing like pretty much every time you've posted. But I actually really like these breakdowns because it's like, it's all this simple shit I've been going over, but like this is like the actual like vocabulary and like terminology for it. I'm just going over like the super basics of it, but it's kind of cool seeing it typed out in a more like professional way, I guess. I don't know if that makes sense. But Smokey, do you have any questions on any of that stuff, or are you good? I told you it's pretty easy. That's why I was like confused why you didn't know what it was. But now you got it. And if you have any questions on it, need to go over it again, we can. But like I said, it's pretty simple. I had a feeling once you saw it once, you'd be like, oh shit, and now you get it. But that's why some people call it HP and CP, halfway point, control point. It's the exact same thing. And the whole fib trick, you know, the halfway stuff, man, that's nothing special. You know, it's just nothing complex. It is special, but it's nothing complex. It's just there's a good level there. It's an impactful level. Now you're good. You're good. Just make sure you're using the right fibs. And I'm not joking, man. Like, seriously, guys, not just Smokey. I'm not targeting just Smokey here. But all this stuff is in really easy videos on my channel, guys. Like, literally the latest video is actually what I'm talking about right now. And it's literally called Day Trading Strategy Anyone Can Use by Leland. And this is the exact setup. It's the exact thing. We gapped up. He drew the fib. He's looking at the halfway point. Look where he can buy dips. Look where he can continue to short from. Into fib extensions. Like, he's not using fancy levels. Like, he's just using super basic shit. I say super basic. It's not at all to, like, the outside eye. But, like, to us, it is. Because we've been doing it for so long. And then, like, all these other videos. Like, if you guys have access to these videos on YouTube. Or let's say you don't have access on YouTube. You have access to this on Discord. If you have a membership role. So, if you see this here, you have it on Discord. Look for it. It's the same title. But just all kinds of just quick videos that actually go over, like, real trades we've taken or real trades we're reviewing. Ways to do better on them. Things that we could have done better. Things we did perfect on and we're just kind of, like, patting ourselves in the back for. It's not always negatives. Retest types. I mean, there's literally everything here. Right here, too. Like, this is a pretty crazy title, but... like, it's all theory. It's all theoretical. It's all like, if this or this happens, this is what should happen. And you need that. You need that to have a trading strategy. You can't just go off of this and go off of that and just do... like, you can't be a robot. You have to have a little bit of theory crafting behind what you're doing. So you got to have this. You got to have the basics. You know, from open to close is what you should expect. The retest, you know, templates for trade types. The liquidity grab, you know. What are our favorite types of trades? You know, that overnight gap fill we talk about so much. And then tools, like what are things we use, on the chart to help ourselves be more bullish or bearish. Candlesticks, you know, candlestick handbook. We got all kinds of stuff for this stuff. And it's right here for the taking. And there's like 50 plus real trade videos on this channel. So like to any of that crowd, I love when that crowd sticks up. It's like, hey, why don't you have any real trading video? What the fuck are you talking about? I got 50 plus videos on that kind of thing. I'm getting annoyed on how many videos I have of these templates, right? So when people come to me and they're like, Bueller, what's a lead test, or what's this or what that, and it's someone that's been in my chat for like years and years and years, it is a little concerning to me. Because it's like, what the fuck? Like, you say you support me and you watch my videos and you like, I don't even care if you support me. It's like, do you like the videos? Do you like the content? Are you getting something out of it? Yes? Then watch them. Like, it's as simple as that. If not, okay, cool, don't watch them. But don't also be that person that's sitting here struggling on the most basic shit ever. Brian Kennedy. That is an interesting name. Great question, by the way. I think I actually have a video on this, but I'll go over it with you regardless. But just to kind of add on to that point. Brian, check this video out too. It's called Trading the Outside Bar by Leland. I know you're asking about the inside bar, but a lot of the like logistics are pretty much the same on how you trade the inner part of it, that inner part of the inside candle. But specifically, you're not really trying to trade the actual inside candle itself. If you're on that next day that is the inside candle, you won't know till later on in the day. But basically, here, let's get a better... Let's get a clean canvas here for Brian. Oops, I did not mean to do that. What am I doing here? All right, so let's focus right here. So let's say there's a day that's like this, right? And we're going into the next day. So here's Monday. Just bear with me here, Brian. Here's Tuesday, right? So Tuesday is the inside day, but we don't know that this is happening yet. So what are the characteristics, just off the rip, of an inside candle going into that next day, Brian? It has to have the lower open, or if it's, you know, red to green, higher open. But either way, the open is altered, right? It's not a flat, it's not up or outside of the candle, it's inside of the candle, right? So we have to understand that on the smaller time frames, that previous day high supply, I'm just showing you an example, that's something that's going to help us. The demand of that previous day, that's something that's going to help us. That's why day to day you have to be marking. That's why I do that too myself, because I don't know what's going to happen the next day. And then outside of that, kind of tying into what we just talked about with Smokey here, the halfway point, right? So just these 3 simple levels. Oh, please let me delete the right thing. There we go. Now we can show you. When that day happens, right? It doesn't just start with a lower open. There's probably something in pre-market that said, yeah, they're starting under the previous day high supply. So you at least have that short-term indication of, all right, well, we're going to have to fight this to give me that bullish trade, or vice versa, to reject, right? So that gives you your first indication, the lower open. Let's just say this is a green day, this is a red day, so we don't have to talk about both directions. Whoa. Trying to make it straight for you. So you get that early rejection. Where should you be targeting all bearish trades if this rejects, Brian? Anything that's rejecting this or lower than this or going down from, where are you targeting that halfway point? Are you allowed to target anything further than that until it breaks? No, right? Unless you're in a position where you bought, let's say 5 contracts, you sold 4 and you're just in a runner. That's fine. See, that's something you can risk because you're risking a very small percent of what you initially put up at stake, right? Whereas if you had just bought 5, kept all 5, hoping it makes a new low, like that's not really trading. You're kind of gambling at that point, right? You're not really micromanaging anything at that point, right? So if you do end up getting into any trades from here and into here, you're definitely selling a majority of them. We don't have anything telling us that we are definitely going to break this, right? There could be all hours of consolidation. There could be, you know, a break and a retake, and that kind of leads us into being not as confident in getting bearish trades under that again, you know? That context stopping us from being more confident until we get the break, right? Let's say we are dealing with that. Move past that situation. Blah, 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 blah. All this happens. You're going under again, right? Now, whether that means you're looking for a midterm retest under this, a perfect retest, a just continue, it doesn't matter. You're now a little bit more bearish than you were bullish because now we've stopped under one thing, we've broken under another, right? But that's what leads into an inside bar day. You don't really understand that it's happening until it's too late, pretty much. Like, you can micromanage all of what I just went over. What is going on? But you're never going to know before the end of the day that, yeah, we're not breaking that low. We're going to stop here and have a day that's stuck inside this day. You're not going to know that beforehand. So you have to micromanage level to level, area to area. Just using probability, basically. And then, of course, the templates, the candlestick patterns we all go over, like just adding that all together into one to give you this kind of feeler of like, yes, I'm more bullish here. Yes, I'm more bearish here. I don't really like it at all here, blah, blah, blah. You know, so maybe you just hit cash in that scenario. That's, of course, a very extended version of what I probably could have said to you, but I just wanted to cover it all so you understand. But let me know, Brian, if that was any kind of helpful. Sorry for my horrible drawings here. Let's get these out of the way. Drawing on a background chart's not really easy, but I swear it's like the easiest way for me to get out what I'm trying to say, because I'm not trying to like, I'm not a bullshitter. I'm not trying to act smart. I'm not trying to act like I could come up with a bunch of words to confuse you and make you think you get it. Like, I don't even know how I would begin to do that. So I just go over it as best as I can. If I sound stupid or if it sounds like it's really weird, like it's the best I could say it. Like I'm trying to make it make sense, you know? I'm going over something I understand, but like being able to explain it again out loud, it truly helps you more because I'm able to break things down in ways that I didn't really think about before. Like all the analogies we come up with and stuff is definitely nice. But yeah, so inside bars though, you don't really want to be a part of trading them. You really want to be a part of that next day. Really, if you see an inside bar and you don't take advantage of it, that next day is going to be really awesome to you because you're going to already be in the mindset of, I didn't catch anything on it. This day is just kind of compounded inside of the previous. And then it ends up giving you a really good excess opportunity that you didn't otherwise have, right? If you don't trade that inside bar, what do you have that next day? A potential inside bar breakout. Like, why would you not want to be a part of that, you know? And using the same kind of control of ground, you know, are they above the halfway point? Are they above this? Did they get above this? Did they get above this and then this? You know, not just one level at a time, but in what order and how many levels did they take? Then, you know, you're kind of using that to kind of help yourself be more bullish or less bullish. You know, maybe you're still bullish, but you could see the end of the run happening, or maybe you're bearish and you could see the end of the drop happening. So you're not taking actionable setups, but you understand that it is still bearish or bullish. It's deep, man. I'm not trying to confuse anybody with this. It's just like, it's simple, but it's not at the same time, if that makes sense. Like, you can make all of this super simple. It's a step-by-step thing. It's really micromanaging between the levels. And then to actually act on it too, I would say is the most difficult part, because you could sit here and talk about shit for hours on end and say you want to do this and do that, but then actually when it comes down to risking that money and putting it up, that's when it becomes a little bit difficult for most people, because saying one thing and then doing it is very hard. And not just in trading, in any aspect of life. I mean, think about that. Have you ever played sports before and been like, I'm going to make this three, and then you go shoot it and you miss it? I mean, yeah, there's no harm there. It's just playing basketball. But apply that to trading, right? There is definitely some harm in that. So think about that. Do we have any other questions or anything? I'm always glad to go a little extra over the time, just because. Good questions. Good discussions. It's simple, but it's not cut and dry. Exactly. Exactly what my boy Eagle Eye just said here. Exactly. Because, like, I don't want to come off as like, oh, this is so easy. You guys are stupid if you don't get it. Like, no, not like that. Like, it's not like that at all. I'm just saying, like, once you go through the step-by-step process a few times and you kind of understand all the different tools we use to get in and out of trades and create these probabilities and to kind of understand the context in front of us, yes, it's simple. But to someone outside of that doesn't really understand how to piece all that together or understand the procedures to take at certain levels, or what, when certain things happen on the bigger time frames down to the smaller, you know, that's when it becomes a little more difficult. And no, that is true too. What you said, Eagle Eye. I'm reading up. I'm catching up now. You said, I think traders will ignore different analysis or indicator type tools until they see it plays out with their own eyes. That is 100% true. And that's why me and Leland, for years on end, have, I mean, I almost want to just say bullied, but have pushed onto the chat to backtest as much as possible, because until you see it with your own eyes, you won't be able to trust it. I mean, it's the same thing in real life, though. Think about that. Like, if I'm having to take a jump over this cliff and my friend's telling me to trust jump or whatever the fuck, and I don't look, how am I going to be able to jump? Right? It's not until I look and see, oh, it's only a 2-foot jump, that I'm like, okay, I'll take that jump, sure. Random example, horrible example, but point across, you know. But I don't know. It's definitely a lot to take in, but I think once you understand the workings and you actually go over it, because there's so many times in chat, and I'm not calling anybody out. I'm really not, because I've done it too. We've all done it. It's all about being excited and you're just passionate. I get it. But think about how many times any one of us has risked money on something we learned about and didn't even actually backtest yet. We thought we did, but we didn't. And then we end up losing money or making money, and it creates this like false judgment of the thing that we're doing. And it's just because we didn't take time to back up and realize, hey, this is what it does. This is trying to understand it, you know, trying to actually backtest. That's why I say backtest as much as you can. Like, when I say review your trades, I'm not saying it in the terms of like, did you win or lose? Tell me, did you win or lose? Like, it's not about that. It's what did you do? And is this something you've done before? Is this a consistent setup that you look for and it just didn't pan out this time? Was it a setup you consistently look for and it worked? You know, just stuff like that. You want to create something where you're consistently trying to do the same few things, right? There's only so many different types of trades you should be taking in between or outside of these levels. There's not a million different opportunities. There's really only a few, right? We know the breakouts. We know the liquidity grabs. We know the buy the dips, you know, the ace setup, I guess we could say. The different types of retests that happen, like, you know, my favorite types, that midterm retest, or like types of setups. Think about that for a second. The overnight gap fib, when we see things trade around that fib or the halfway point of a previous day, we all know that that's very exciting because we know the kind of movement that happens from that. But how do we know that? Because we traded it, we've back tested it, we've looked at it for years now. You know, we all get excited when we see that stuff because we know what can come from it. That's what we need to apply that energy to everything that we're looking at, even if it's boring, because then you will understand, oh, it's boring. Oh, okay, well, I'll just avoid this setup until I see something actually trigger. You know, you're not just sitting there like, oh, I'll jump in early, it's gonna work. No, because all these little like tiny mistakes you're making because you think you can make them, they're tiny cuts, yes, but what do a bunch of tiny cuts end up being after being cut 1,000 times? You're bleeding out. That's not good. 100%. You got to take the reps. Thanks, B, for the guidance and trying to keep us in the right. You too, man. I always appreciate you adding in your 2 cents. I feel like you're always really good at keeping me on track. Much love. Keeping ourselves accountable and focus is a key part of discipline trading. It is. It really is. I only can say that because, like, I mean, we've all done it before. We've all stepped outside of our comfortability before and made a mistake. We've all fucked up once or twice, or more. Some of us more. But it's a part of it. But let's use that to our advantage. It's not like just use it as like a painful experience. Like, that could literally be used to help us get into better trades or to help us avoid bad trades. Let's use what we've done before. But do we have any other questions or comments or anything, really? Do we have anything else? If not, I can end the stream. If not, though, if so, please let me know. We can go over whatever. I'm just chilling. It's about 30 minutes after the close. Make sure to go into the Discord and vote on the polls channel and let us all know how did you do. It's free to go click on there, so you don't need a membership to click on it. Also, just so everybody knows, you don't need a membership to read TradeFloor. So make sure you share that around so people tune in and come and catch up some of our updates. Not just from me, but from you guys as well. I honestly love when I see somebody in chat who's been around for a little bit. Not really a call out, but they're like, hey guys, I think we should look at this level. And then they point out that it's holding, and then they update from there. And then it's kind of fun, like you see someone step in and be like, hey man, I caught your updates. I didn't use it to take my trade, but I used it to keep myself in my, like, maybe used it for reinforcement. And that's the kind of shit I want to see. I don't want to see someone go, thanks for that call out, Mike, on previous day close. I bought calls because of you. No, I want to see someone go, I was also looking at that, Mike. Thank you. Thank you for the reinforcement, blah, blah, blah. Like, it shouldn't be someone pushing you to trade that level. You should already be looking at it or being reminded of it or reinforcement of it, and vice versa. You should also be giving out that reminder, that reinforcement to other people in chat, even if it's just some tiny little quick update like, hey guys, remember PDC's here. Hey guys, remember halfway points here. Those small comments are actually very helpful because they're a reminder. It's a neutral enforcement to someone. They're not seeing it as you saying, oh, that Mike guy, he's bearish. That Mike guy, he's bullish. I'm not that. Like, it has nothing to do with it if you're just going in there and typing a simple quick update, you know? So it also applies this piece of neutrality for someone who's reading that chat, and they go, oh, wow. You know, I was biased, bearish, but now I can see why chat's looking at this, blah, blah, blah. And you're able to help someone without really even causing an argument. I'm not going anywhere, Maddie. I was just asking if anybody's asking questions. I didn't say I was ending it yet. I just said I was going to end it if nobody said anything. If anybody has anything they want to go over or look at or talk about, I'm here. That is bad. That is pretty insane timing, Maddie. Maddie, not so ice. Nice, nice. I'm glad you're home, man. How was your day, Maddie? Not just trading. How was the day? You know, outside of everything. How was your overall Monday? I won't lie, my last few weeks have been very, very shit. real life wise. Like, the only not shit part of my life recently has been coming into chat. Like, dead ass. Chat's been the only, like, bright light in my life recently. It's so nice. I come in here and it's like a, it's like a relief. Get that sigh out. Yo, what's up, Adam? Good to see you, man. How is it over there in California? No trading, just grinded all day. Was good. Lots. I'm happy for you, Maddie. I'm happy you didn't trade because it's kind of cool to honestly see you be like, yeah, man, my Redfin's killing it. My shares are doing great. Blah blah blah. You're just kind of managing your bigger, more mature trades, in my opinion, and then kind of doing your thing in life. You know, I think that's trading, dude. That's like the biggest level of trading you can get to. You got to remember, options are just tools for shares. So, I mean, reality, your main focus should be your investments and your life. So good for you, man. Hopefully all of us can get to that level of stability one day, at least mindset-wise. Of course, we can all do better. But I love that for you, Maddie, seriously. All good, stuck at the new job in training. New job? What's the new job? Are you still in California? Did you move to Texas yet? Did you go to Florida? Did you go to Ohio? Yes, sir. Added lots of shares all around last week. Just chilling for the moment. Taking in this bounce, hoping it's legit. I mean, even if it isn't, though, it's a good thing you get starter stuff. Like, you have Redfin at a cheap cost. DDD at a cheap cost. Your Rivian cost is relatively low. You know, you're not like... Your investments aren't parts of the chart where it's like, fuck, I really need this to go up. Like, you're sitting in a spot where you can truly relax because you have a piece of the pie at risk, and there might even be a bigger piece of pie to take advantage of in the future if it does dip lower. So I love that you're in this spot where you're like kind of in it and you can wait for more, possibly giving yourself an even bigger gain on your overall portfolio. Got a lot of value, exactly. And then on top of that too, like, I'm sure you're taking care of shit in real life too. You know, you're probably fine on that end too. So, you know, there's not like pressure anywhere. It's just time. It's just being patient. Which, if patience is your worst enemy, you're sitting in a better spot than 99% of people. Because they're not worried about being patient. They're worried about getting something now, doing this, doing that. You know, so if you're in a spot like you are right now, where you have a piece of risk at hand and then you're also able to potentially take more in the future, dude, you're fucking set up for success. And let's try to get some more stock picks too, Maddie. I'll get a list out at the end of this week. I'll try to get those out to everybody where we should own what at what cost. I'll get that out at the end of this week, though. His DDD is in the spot. Redfin was in the spot, is no longer. Or maybe I'll come out with... Should I come out with a document that updates, like... I'll be like, I'll do like color coded stuff too. So it like updates, yes, you should buy it in this range. No, you shouldn't buy it in this range. Yellows for like, do what you want, but I wouldn't kind of thing. You took a job with Citi. Oh, nice. You're in Cali still. We're going to have to come rob you from there one day. That's cool though. You're from Citi, from South Park. Shitty Walk. But good seeing you, Adam. Sorry I haven't been around, but how is it? Are you liking the new job and training, or you think you're gonna like it, or you think it's gonna suck? What are you thinking? Shitty bank, yeah. All good, you've been missed. I know, man. Honestly, like I said, like life sucks, but every time I come back to chat or like messages or like whatever, like everybody's always there for me, regardless if I'm here or not. So I know I got you guys. That's like the one thing I don't really have to second guess. I know I got my team. AAP? Have I talked about AAP with you yet, or no? I haven't. Okay, that answers my question. Oh, maybe I did. I just charted it. Is this the... Oh, I was thinking insurance. This is Advanced Auto Parts. Yeah, Maddie, we'll have to get together, man. Honestly, I'll have to get you in a call. What do you think, like Friday evening? You think you're free Friday afternoon? Could you try to like make sure you're doing nothing then? Like break up with your girl if you have to. Do anything you need to. I think Friday evening or afternoon we should have like a just bullshit stream in here. Just chill and just go over stocks we think are worth buying or potentially worth buying in the future, right? And then we'll try to break down how would we approach that? How I approached at least with all my stock picks, and I'll just go over that stuff because I mean I already showed you in most of the chat, but it'd be cool to do it for some new ones. Plus, I don't think everybody wants to own DDD, so fair enough. Teach his own. Riskier, but if the restructuring comes through, that should be possible. Bet. Yeah. Let me know, man. I would love to do that, like a Friday afternoon, just kind of chill, hang out stream, and then we go over some potential stock picks. Kind of like we did before, but I'll actually have you in the call this time instead of just like reading out what you're saying. There's also some cool picks from other people in chat here too. Dr. J had a couple. I know Mike has a couple in here. Mike probably has a majority of this list actually. Mike T. Sand Dollar. A couple of these are from Sand Dollar. I mean, there's tons of great tickers we could start looking at. And when I say like to look at for short-term buying, I don't mean like buying it and forgetting about it forever. Like, no, I mean like we might be buying like partial amounts, and then later on we'll check to see if we're in a better spot or not. And if we are, then we'll full send it. And if we aren't, then we're just already in a light position that's going to be up green. Like, okay, we'll have minimal gains on it, but at least we'll already be there. So. And that's really what I want to put across to people in our chat for when you do long-term buying is you need to have a spot of the chart that you don't mind owning something. I think too many people get into this and their opinion changes as time goes on. Your opinion should not ever adjust where you bought, right? If I'm looking at, let's say, this chart, I'm like, I'm not going to buy it unless it's at 20 or in the 20s. Then stick to it. You know, you should never move outside of that. Therefore, when something else happens, like a huge news catalyst happens, a CEO dies or something happens or just anything, you can make a decision based off of what you planned. You're like, well, I don't like how far away from my entry it is now. I'm going to take profits, or I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do that, or I think it's overbought, I think it's oversold, based off of something, instead of just assuming and doing something based off of nothing, right? You need it to be based off of something, or it just won't make sense. That's not trading. That would be gambling. So it is always good to have that. Is everybody good for the levels for tomorrow? Do we all understand the levels you need to have on your chart tomorrow? I'll pull them up right now so you can see them again. If you have any questions on what any of them are, please ask. But this is what you need to have on your chart. We have the today. I'm talking like I'm in tomorrow. We have the previous day high supply. We have the, I believe that is the other fib that I have marked off still. And then we have the fib extension. This was that first target from the down move. And then I just added the today's halfway point. And I just highlighted it to combine it so I see it a little easier. Instead of just using one, I'm going to use it as an area. And yeah, I hope you're here tomorrow, Maddie. I want to get a trade together. Hopefully. I don't like to force it though, you know what I mean. And then end of week, I really do want to have that stream. Whether you're here or not, I'm doing it. But I would love to do it because I would love to get a list of stocks for people to kind of just keep in the back of their mind. Because, I mean, it's really easy to, like, look at SPY every day, but it's kind of fun to just check on, like, a list of stocks every now and then. No, you're good. If you can't, whatever. If you can, awesome. You DM'd me the LTs? Okay, good. All right, so even if you aren't here, I'll go over some of these. Ooh, he has Whirlpool, you fucking legend. Wait. Oh, never mind. I thought that said 69,000 on PayPal. But they just have a lot of numbers behind the decimal. I was like, what? Dude, I'm not seeing a single name that I don't like. Okay, I see one that I don't know. I don't know FNMA. It looks like mortgages? I can't tell. I like that you have O in here as well. O is really cool. That one's OG. Okay, well, I'll definitely look at some of these when I'm going over them then. Oh, you're a legend, dude. Matty Ice, I shit you not. Like, let these next few years go by. You're going to forget about those investments, and they're going to just, like, carry you. You're going to forget about them, and then in, like, 3-4 years, you're going to be like, wow, I'm up, like, $1,000 in each one or more. You'll never know. I'll see you later, Smokey. If we have any other questions, let me know. If not, I'm going to end the stream. I've been here since... I don't even remember anymore. It's been 3 hours. Not the ones we have, but yeah. Fannie Mae. Oh, Fannie Mae. Fuck, that's why I could remember it. Fannie Mae. Okay, never mind. You did tell me about that one. My bad. Putting all my gains in the Schwaber. Alright, well, if we don't have any questions or comments or whatever, I'm going to end it here. Thank you guys for the 30 likes on the YouTube stream. Random stream. Didn't even plan this one, so thank you guys for still showing that support. We had over 100 people in the YouTube. At one point, I think we had like 10 in the Discord, so warming back up again. But good to see everybody kind of clicking back in, even at this random-ass time I started at. So that's cool. Well, I'll see you guys tomorrow. We got the pre-market prep Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We're going to go towards lunchtime on each of those streams. And then Friday, I was supposed to have a paid one-on-one, but we're just going to do that random stream like we did today. And we'll do the long-term talk. We'll go over the sectors, the ownership, all that crap, and we'll go over why we like it at what prices. So all that good stuff. I'll see you guys then. Make sure to leave a like, invite anyone you want, and I'll see you guys later on. Have a good rest of your day.